across the field, both teams. But let's actually go ahead, though, and talk about King first, because he gave us a moment for all moments, the highlight reel of all highlight reels. And honestly, I don't even know if we would ever, get to see one like that in that atmosphere ever again. But this team right here, this team is disgusting, and they are forces to be reckoned with here in this region. Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. And King, we've talked a lot about him as an individual, but I wanted to talk about some of his mid-rounding and decision-making, because I think this guy continues to be underrated as one of the top IGLs in the Americas League. He's really good at having these early rounds where you're taking space, pushing pressure. You saw in that round, they just send a little bit of utility towards C. That pulls their opponent to rotate off, and they have this great execute onto the A site. On top of that, you can see the coordination. The second they're on this site, they have a triple swing set up once Vitality goes for this retake. And just one round in the future here, or a couple more into this game, you see they also still have these crazy set plays. When things get wild, Leviatan is a team who can pull out a crazy idea, like Mazzino teleporting behind them and making a play like that. But they also have the consistent fundamentals, which feels like a balance between the Leviatan that we saw at Champions. It was very much about the fundamentals, and the old Leviatan that we got back at Copenhagen that was about thriving in this chaos. Yeah, and then also, like, when you put that spotlight on King as well, right, it goes to really show how structured this team is, because they can also move players to different roles. They can try new things out. I know that, look, with Shy, they were trying out some new things as well at Lock-In. It seemed to have worked out for them. Oh, massively. I mean, Shy's one of the youngest players that we've got as well, that's playing in the Americas itself. But this role swap where he's been, moving over to... That is objectively a badass picture. It's worked out so much. That is a badass picture. You are right. I mean, but just look at the sheer numbers of this guy as well, in terms of where he performs at the Lock-In event itself. But it really did enable this guy, because before, when he was playing an initiator, he had to be usually like the third one in as well. He was supporting the rest of his team, and he had his good games. He had his time in the sun, of course, but this move over now to the Sentinel means that, he takes a bit of a back seat, I suppose, in terms of the order of which maybe when they're scaling, or he can lurk a bit more, and it has freed him up, I think. It gives him that kind of freedom within the match, within those rounds, to have a ton of individual impact. And it's added just extra element, I think, to make Leviatan an even scarier team than they were before. Yeah, and him making that changeover has also given a way for really comfortable roles for the two new players that were added ahead of Lock-In. Mazzino gets to play on the controller role, which he's really incredibly strong at, and Nosworth gets that scout initiator role, with King moving over to the flashes. This team is putting a lot of emphasis in just coordination and playing to their comfort, and they're so damn good at it. Yeah, and of course, so on the other side of the stage, you have a phenomenal squad in their own right, capable of being able to take down Leviatan as well, which is wild to think about given how good Lev is. But it's, of course, NRG. And now, they did lean heavily on Ye last year, right? Not to say that, the core, Crashies, Victor, and FNS, can't hold their own. We know that they most definitely can. But it's nice to see Artis getting put into this, and he really has been enabling this team and really helping them put together a lot of really cool strats. He adds a ton of flexibility just from his time of playing in EMEA, and as well playing on that FPX squad back in the day. And that's definitely showcased as well, just in the numbers that he's able to put up. But it's, I think, enabled NRG to play a lot more different stuff as well around it. Like, we were kind of locked into that chamber meta in the previous year, and of course, a lot of teams taking full advantage of that, including, the old Optic Core, which is now NRG, when they were putting Ye on that role as the best player in the world at that role. So, listen, I've got no issues whatsoever with them doing that. But as we head into 2023, flexibility becomes a pretty key feature, I think, of a lot of teams and what they should be working towards. Yeah, and the thing is that Artis can do both. You see in the stats there, he can be a superstar when he's playing on the Jet, but he can also flex onto the Killjoy, the Flash Initiator role, the Sage, anything, and he will still perform to a really high level. And I think this is the biggest example of NRG reinventing themselves. They're not that team that is super reliant on Ye as an individual. They're a team that's reliant on 5 players who are all individually fantastic and highly flexible. Yeah, and also that kind of leads us to our next player that we're going to be highlighting here, because I think for a lot of us going to Lock-In in Sao Paulo, we were like, I don't know how Sam is going to do. Homie stepped up big time in Brazil and definitely made a name for himself as a professional player, not just a content creator. My streamer, I'm telling you, this guy popped off at the Lock-In event as well. He really did play incredibly
damn well because he was filling massive shoes in the form of, like, listen, Marth was punching for potentially one of the best controller players of last year. And coming into this team, I didn't really know where to put that, but he exceeded my expectations personally as well. It's almost like, as well, you know, we kind of want to name certain areas of maps after players, like the artist spot next to Jenny on her head. Feels like the yellow box as well, just in that one angle. Someone's getting so many
that was his angle.
It was
absurd.
It was insane.
He set up a little tent.
It's insane, but he
really hot dogs.
He set the expectations of where we should be, you know, expecting as well for these next 9 weeks for his play as an individual. But he is not weighing down the rest of this NRG squad.
Yeah, and I think that these two players thriving on their new roster of NRG is proof of how good this core is, of that support structure of Victor Crashies, as well as FNS, because they've developed a top-level team with their previous players, with Ye, with Marv, but they've also been able to bring in new players into this squad, quickly change up their ideas, and still be performing at an absolutely top level.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that these are two teams that we could genuinely sit here and talk about all day long because they're so talented. But enough from us here. Let's actually go ahead and hear from the players about this upcoming matchup. Check it out.
Team we're excited to play is Leviatan, which is our first game. They were our main scrim partners in lock-in, so we would scrim them like 2 or 3 times a day almost. And we would honestly learn a lot from them. So I think playing against them officially in a match will be very exciting and it'll be a very good game.
I rate them really highly. I think their star 2 people is King and Taco. I think King doesn't get the credit he deserves, and Taco is, he also doesn't get it. I think they both are like very underrated. I think a lot of pros know they're good, but I don't think a lot of fans know how good they are.
Let's see if he can dodge it. He just takes the fight and King wins it out.
Yo pienso que dicen eso de NRG porque tienen buenos jugadores, tienen buena estructura a nivel equipo.
Oh, riggedy. Right, let's get down to it, chat.
Individualmente son muy fuertes y a nivel equipo también funcionan bien. Entonces yo creo que es un conjunto de por qué se ven fuertes y hacen buenos partidos.
Para mí top 2 o 3 de todo el torneo.
I think that first match is really kind of is going to show what both teams are capable of. Leviatan,
let's
very
get
strong
it.
Team overall has a lot of structure, and so do we. And I think both teams have a lot of firepower, so it's just going to come down to very small margins.
So glad Finesse mentioned
no map picks or nothing yet.
That kind of leads us, even though we did talk a little bit about artists, it gives us an opportunity to also talk about some of the players on the other team that are going to be meeting artists on the field and potentially going toe-to-toe with them. And that player that I'm particularly looking at is, of course, Taco.
Yeah, Taco was an absolute star for this squad at lock-in, but I want to talk less about how these two perform as individual players and how more they kind of represent the direction the teams are moving in. For Leviatan, they've emphasized taking Taco off the chamber, putting him on the jet, putting him on the raise, making him comfortable in those star dive roles. Whereas for NRG, as we've already talked about, they've lent more into the flexibility. They're similar teams in their structure and in their strength, but they both have had, I think, different approaches to how they want to build their team.
Check one more thing, and I don't remember.
I couldn't agree more. And I think as well, it's kind of up for debate still in terms of what play style and how that might actually work out and what is going to
try to remember what it was. That's what it was.
Here, we're really going to see that manifest as well. And I think as we head deeper and deeper to certain maps as well that are going to be playing towards that playstyle of Takalea, when we might see him play a bit more of the gen and whatnot, whether or not NRG end up opting into it as well. But it's clear that there's strengths for both sides in terms of how to decide.
How Singularity's doing on their CSGO side. 12-12, huh? That was like 11-5? 10-5, I think, when I checked in at one point. Damn, girl.
But both these squads are super duper prep heavy, so now having VODs of their opponent, I think make this match even more exciting. I expect both these teams to have great things cooked up.
Yeah, again, we keep saying it. It's going to be an awesome matchup, folks. And don't worry, we're minutes away, so we got you covered. NRG versus Leviatan are going to be taking the stage in just a minute, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this short break.
All right, how we feeling, chat? Leviatan versus NRG today. I feel like NRG's got to be the way I'm leaning. Although Leviatan has looked very, very promising at times. Gonna be a super hype match, SF, 100%. I'm glad it's the early map too, man. Sometimes when like the hype maps, the second map are like match of the day, depending on how the first one goes, it's hard to really kind of get back hype and ready to go for the second one. That's the beauty of having the Monday game. Only one game, so. Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised to see this one go in all 3 maps. Again, I really honestly wouldn't be too surprised if NRG drops it for real. It's kind of like we've been talking about some of the other matchups this week so far for NA. Honestly, I think the NA schedule is going to have a lot of bangers on it week after week. Should make for a very, very, very fun next, what is it, like 2 months here for VCT? Something like that. So... All right, there we go. Now we've got everything, I think, set up on my monitors, so we're good to go. Yeah. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. I got home with like barely enough time to get a quick thumbnail piece together for this. Had little man's allergist appointment today. Oh, for NA challengers to be back? Oh shit, Singularity up 13-12 now? Say what? Excited to be getting back into some CS casting later this week. Although I gotta ask the guys over from Singularity, because apparently this Polish league is best of 2 maps, which is interesting to me. I don't know if they do like combined score from the 2 maps and then do a third if needed. I don't like. I've never seen it this way before. It literally says best of 2, which is so weird. Yeah. I was picking up what you were putting down. I knew what you were saying.
NRG and Leviatan will take the stage in just a few minutes, and the desk, of course, is divided, and I don't blame them about who is going to have the edge in this matchup. Now, Mimi and Brent are both convinced that they're right, and they've created presentations to sell their predictions.
Oh, God, here we
Let's
go.
Go ahead and check them out. All right.
Here we go.
Brent, why are you standing like that?
Thank you for your time today, GP.
Yeah, give me a presentation. Who are you trying to convince me on?
In this matchup today, I am going to be predicting Leviatan, and here is why. Starting with Leviatan, the future of America's league.
Wow.
As you can see, beautiful logo, and it's all about this next slide that's coming up. No questions until the end.
Sure.
Team vision. What is the team vision? Well, Leviatan seeks to empower each individual player to bring out the core competency in each player. A bespoke team, purpose-built to make waves in the Valorant ecosystem.
Oh, okay. I mean, sure. What else?
He said, he's like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's see what we have here.
Blue sky thinking and synergy.
What?
In particular, synergy, quite important. A team that has been paving the way with creative strategy and real core tenets. We think this Leviatan team is going to resonate with fans in the Champions Tour 2023 America's
That's
League.
not the name of our league. It's VCT Americas.
It's Champions Tour 2023 America's League.
Okay, sure.
Fantastic.
As you can see from the graph as well, this team on an upward trajectory.
Line go up, that's
These
great.
guys are winners.
Yeah.
Line go up.
Please.
Yeah, I guess.
Good
hockey
news.
stick Going up. All right.
Capturing the hearts of fans globally. Many iconic moments have come from this team. Who could forget when Josh Wilkinson said, "That's the spike!" in their game versus Xset? Or perhaps when King looked upon his defeated opponent's vitality in the Lock-in Omega quarterfinals.
That was an incredible moment.
That
was an incredible moment.
Other teams have moments like that, no?
Well,
Yeah.
Leviatan has something special, and here's why. The next slide is going to really tell it all, I think.
Okay.
A team at the bleeding edge, and I know what you're thinking.
What?
That's you, Brennan, and it is me. That is me, and I just wanted you to know that it was me that was predicting
You don't look
Leviatan.
very professional in that photo.
Right here. Leviatan are consistently taking names over the last few years. They've been building themselves up as a robust team, giving 110%.
See, sometimes they do things like this, chat, and it's like you kind of can't help but laugh at the
Final
corniness.
slide.
Dude, you're giving me like nothing to
I
go
feel
off
like
of.
there was no substance there.
The word count's like at least over 200.
But you said like they're putting in 110%,
Dog.
and like that they believe they're
There's
gonna
a
win.
third-party PlayStation controller on the presentation.
Brent, did you even make this presentation?
I hired somebody to make it.
Okay, you know what?
He's.
No integrity.
Anyway,
I hired someone to
I
make.
want to show some attitude.
Switch.
No,
I
very good.
can't. I don't-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I guess if you're doing
All right.
handshakes.
Well, let's do something that's a little bit more worth our time here. I'm going to present to you folks today on why I believe that NRG is going to win today. You can see a beautiful team here, and I would predict them to take things home in their game
is
versus
that a
Leviatan.
JPEG of the VCT America's logo?
Oh, wow,
No,
it
it's
pops
the
up.
logo, and it's me who's presenting this. I'm Mimi Wormkrantz. Let's get.
It is a JPEG, bro. I couldn't even get a remove
Imagine a team
background.
that's winning. Think
Oh,
about
no.
what helps them to win. What puts them in that direction? And I think of one simple word.
Yeah.
One word.
What
That's all
word?
it is. We'll see the word in a second.
Yeah. Let's see the.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Simple word, simple acronym. Fleku. Fleku.
Fleku?
Yeah. Do you guys know what Fleku means?
What? No. What is it?
Well, it brings a variety of different aspects that make it fantastic that I think NRG embodies. Let's start with F. Fundamentals, players, leadership,
can't even read this.
experience, clutch, and utility. NRG have all of these factors.
So this is the Fleku system?
The Fleku
One
system.
of the most successful teams that we have here in VCT America. I want to talk specifically, though, about two of the aspects, players and leadership. Let's start off by talking about the leadership, because the leadership on this squad, it's absolutely fantastic. You have both Chet, a fantastic coach, a championship-winning one, and as well, a great IGL in Finesse. Let's get that next slide up, please, to talk about some of these leaders. Here you can see him. It is NRG Finesse. He's a fantastic individual. And I actually went out and I polled his mind and found some of the things that he was thinking through in the average match. Let's pull up some of those thoughts. You can see here, all good. Mid-round, utility, calm. These are the things that a fantastic leader is thinking, and a bad leader would not be thinking. It'll keep them calm during this matchup. Let's get that next slide up there. We got to breeze through the rest of this one. Great player, Som. Best Viper player of Lock-In. Consistent anchor, and a great new voice on the team. And on top of that, he's a fantastic streamer. W player, W streamer. NRG's winning it all.
Oh.
Okay, chat.
Any questions, guys?
No.
No.
None. Guys, all right, before we get started.
I'm convinced it's NRG, chat.
Everyone know that the stream, of course, contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised, but two of the world's best teams are ready to take the stage. VCT America starts.
All right, let's get it, chat. Leviatan, NRG. What maps do we think we see? That's the next question.
Our first match is Leviatan.
Jugamos contra NRG.
Obviously, I want to win.
Taco gets his back, Mazzino as well, finding two.
King now worried, but he wants to get proactive.
He just takes the fight, and King wins it out.
They're gonna get this down now. Shy gets from above. This guy. But he has
So we know that both times NRG picked both Lotus and Split.
Leviatan has a lot of structure, and so do we.
Um,
Both teams have a lot of
At
firepower.
lock-in, they lost.
There we go. Infinite. Crashes has his ult on his Fury, and nobody clears Storm.
If they don't auto ban Icebox, maybe NRG picks that.
perfection from NRG.
Kind of looking at the rest of their maps
Para
from,
y son un equipo fuerte, pero nosotros también.
at least from lock-in, although I could be wrong on that.
Welcome back, everyone, as we get ready for our matchup. Teams are going to be taking the stage in a moment here. I don't know. Well, you guys gave me barely anything.
I think I gave you a lot. For Pleku, remember?
Actually,
For
you know
Pleku.
what?
West is thinking a lot of great things.
Yeah.
They have great players. I feel like I was very clear.
I think the Fleku system it has changed minds, hearts, and souls of millions.
It's easy to
of
remember,
America's fans.
Yeah, it's very memorable, actually. What is it again?
The Fopleku.
I mean, surely you know. What does it stand for?
The Fopleku.
Fopleku?
FPL.
Yeah, go ahead and say what are the
What does it stand for?
Yeah, what does it stand for, Brent?
Ascent, maybe?
No.
They don't have any Finnish people on their roster. They do have one import from Europe.
Yeah,
so
you're thinking EMEA. This is America's.
I don't know. I'm lost at the second part of the.
I will say though, of the polls, or well, not the polls. Sorry, of the presentations. Mimi, you actually gave me substance.
Yeah, you did kill it.
You had actual substance in your.
I also made it myself.
Substance. I could fit into any business meeting of 2023.
I think that honestly, if the right executives see this, they're going to take him off the broadcast, and he's going to become a presenter now. I think he's great at it.
Board meeting.
Yeah, you could do it. You're good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, but now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and check out our poll results here and see who you guys think are going to win. And
NRG by a long shot. Not surprised. NA bias. Thoughts.
That is quite the lead for NRG. I think
NA bias for sure.
Kind of underrating Leviatan a little bit here. With
just a little bit. It's fine.
It would go. I mean, that's pretty heavy, no?
Something tells me there's someone named Sam on that team who has a lot of social media presence, and someone tells me that Leviatan, most of their fans speak Spanish.
Yeah. But you know what, though? I totally get it. I think fan expectations are incredibly high for both of these teams. I think it does feel a little like Sentinels and 100 Thieves. But obviously, that being said, this is going to be an incredible matchup, and I'm so excited about this. So, folks, this is it. It's now time to welcome our two teams to the stage. Welcome NRG and Leviatan.
All right, let's get it. I'm going to be excited to see map picks. Oh shit, I forgot to switch over to Singularity's Polish league. Artists! Ooh, does Singularity take this? I think they do. Nice. All right.
Two Titan squads from North America and LATAM, respectively, here looking to do battle on this stage for you fine people back at home and in the crowd. This is going to be an awesome matchup, Mimi.
Both these teams have an expectation of making it to Tokyo, of making it to Champions LA, of being two of the top squads.
Chad, do we have? I know we obviously got people in here that are fans of Valorant. Any CS fans in here?
I think it's going to set a lot of the precedent for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I think it could be hard as well to place that context in our minds when watching this.
So excited to be getting into some CS casting again this week.
But I guarantee you that you are going to need every single match win over.
Keeping an eye on. I didn't get to cast one of the games today for one of the teams I'm going to be casting for.
Any easy or free wins and getting off on.
They're over on Vertigo
here today is going to make
right now in a Polish league.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how pivotal a victory here can be, because a lot of folks have Leviatan, NRG, and either, like 100 Thieves or Sentinels making it to Tokyo. Like, I see a lot of the predictions, right? And Loud, and Loud as well, right? You already have 5
I think
competitive teams.
I think Leviatan's definitely in one of those team names that is very much getting passed around to be in Tokyo.
It's going to be so important because it could be the difference for tiebreakers.
Yeah, it absolutely could. And we've already seen that there's no easy match. Tons of teams have already punched above their weight. So expectations today, there are definitely a ton of questions for these squads. But I think what's going to be most interesting for me on the side of NRG is that we really only got that one event from them. We only got to see them at Lock-In. We've seen more history from Leviatan. For NRG, I think it was a little bit bigger changes coming in.
Yeah.
These teams
All right, give us maps. I want maps. Show us the maps. Show us the maps.
Fill into those shoes for NRG has been solid thus far, but now we get to see what they've cooked up with more time.
All right, maps
all right, here we go.
Underway. We'll see what our first vetoes are going to be, and of course our first pick to determine where these two incredible squads are going to square off against each other.
Fracture off the board.
Going to go first there. That of course will be a ban coming from Leviatan. Let's see what NRG are going to look to get rid of here.
Yeah, and I think the no-brainer ban is probably going to be a sense, and okay, it is. So they want to remove that out of the pool from Leviatan. They're one of the better teams.
Good call.
At least
So what does Leviatan take for their first map?
And
Pearl.
Pick, which is quite intriguing, I think, as well. It's Leviatan's first map pick as well. They're opting to go into this one. This is a very good map for NRG. That's why I'm quite surprised by it.
Yeah, NRG was running that loud comp with the double controllers. And
Lotus for NRG.
Darn good on that one. For the side of Leviatan as well, they had some issues. I think their attacking side sometimes got a little chaotic, but I imagine they put in the work. What's surprising, though, is that Lotus is going to be that second pick. We haven't seen it yet from either of these teams. They were both generally second banning it, straying away from it.
NRG picked Lotus.
Fascinating that, the option to pick up,
right?
Like an Icebox or even a Haven where we're present today.
Yeah, and Giants beat them on it, which is why I don't get it.
It's going to be quite fascinating to see how that plays out.
To me, that shows a lot of confidence from the side of NRG to say we are more confident in our preparation and our idea of how we want to play this map. Because they
split
actually did,
for the decider, huh?
Back at Lock-In, and on that map they were playing this no duelist comp with double initiators. I didn't feel like it worked very well for them. They were running Sova as well, which I didn't love. So I imagine they've reworked that map.
I wonder who's our casters today. Probably Bala, right? Bala and what's his name?
Being that split
Has
as
to
well, coming in. I think this is quite an intriguing map pool that's based as well a ton around what they've prepped themselves. You have two incredibly prep-heavy teams. They love to curate and create strategies.
Yeah.
What do you mean by pay attention, by the way?
There's been a huge amount of time since we've seen these teams play at Lock-In, despite the fact that both of these teams, I believe, played 3
You pay
series
attention.
each, which is the most out of a lot of teams here in the Americas. Yet still, I am really curious to see if we're going to see any switch up here with the map select, or the agent select, I should say.
All right, Pearl.
Curious and all right, so Mazzino,
yeah, okay.
bringing in the Harbor right out of the gate.
Looks like we might just get the Harbor Viper versus Harbor Viper. I think the one variation that NRG brings is that they've been playing the Rays on this map instead of the Jet. Jet, a much more common pick with this composition. A lot of times you can flash through, dash past those smokes, and it gives a lot of opportunities for those players to pop off. As well, Artis was only playing 1 game of Rays at Lock-In.
Yeah, but the interesting thing for me as well is Taco Leo on this Jet on Pearl. A big deciding factor for Leviatan having success on this map was his opping, and I think double controller with the Harbor and the Viper really does put a dampener on that when you're trying to play it on Pearl in particular. I do wonder how it's going to be affecting it. I think he might be having a bit of a mitigated success here on this first map, but we'll see.
Yeah, and of course, it boils down to how these teams have had the time
mirror comps, right?
Work that they put into this, but folks,
or no?
We are moments away from the first pistol round. So let's go ahead and
Rays instead of Jet. Okay.
That hate Mondays just as much as Garfield. It's Doug and Bala.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it would be Golden Boy to make a Garfield reference, right? Like, no, I know people here don't know what that is. I will say though, as much as I don't necessarily love Mondays, with the crowd, the energy that they have today, I love Mondays, man. If this is what,
dude, honestly, for real though,
let's go.
It's insane. It is noon on a Monday right now. These people should be working, but no, they're here.
That's true. This is specific. I didn't even think about the fact that this is like dead in the middle of the day. That's interesting.
Feels like opening day all over again, and for good reason. This is probably the marquee matchup of the weekend.
1000%.
And we're ending with it.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Again, Leviatan going up against NRG. The opening map in this best of 3 will be Pearl.
You think it's gonna be a three map banger? I think so.
Heavy lean towards B right off the bat.
And Mimi was touching on how this is a mirror comp in the sense that both teams running the Harbor Viper. And I think you saw actually NRG pick up this comp at Lock-In. And a lot of the teams in Americas as well, the top teams, Loud, NRG, now Leviatan, all running this. They have a good understanding of how this comp plays. And you see the strengths of it right away. The double wall coming out for NRG, allowing this plant really, really easily.
Super difficult to deal with, and you have the Cove. You've got to manage. You've got to
manage
through as well.
He got 2.
Getting 2. But Finesse gets both right back. Sam feeling a little bit of the pressure. Finesse has already gotten 3 on the round.
Nice right click.
I don't know, man, but I will say.
Oh, there it is.
Like that's a good start for them.
Nice start for NRG. There you go.
I like the idea for them. It's to push into B-Link. Late as the high
Bro, Moon, how far behind the video are you?
The timing would be for Leviatan to start flashing out, to start repushing with Taco Leah. But in that instance,
asking about CS.
That fight in B-Link. Mizuno with the 2 early ones, and then they're able to trade that out. Not enough presence there for Leviatan. Everybody out coming from spawn instead. And that pinch from B-Link, from backside, works so well late in the round. It's something you have to clear. Mid aggression here for Leviatan, though. Dangerous on these eco rounds consistently.
There.
Flash getting a little info of presence. It's waiting on the other side. As it seemed like NRG are going to want to test the waters B yet again.
But I do agree with you, Moon. I think it's going to be a very, very close match. Double wall comes in here again.
But only after the high tide has come down, only after the Trailblazers all the way gone through B-Link, or through backhaul, excuse me.
Hard is taking a peek on some high ground, giving the space back, repositioning to take these fight later on in the rounds. Note, not a ton of buy here for Leviatan. They don't really have much utility either. I mean, a flash perhaps, a molly out of King.
I mean, you got to basically full send here with your rifle at disadvantage here if you're Leviatan.
Right? Like they can just hold
Leviatan, sorry.
They don't really need to take any practice space. They don't need to take any practice fights. You've got Sam, who unfortunately just drops, but is in great position.
I thought the loss for a little bit longer here. Just trying to pressure so that all of NRG stays close.
Yeah.
Cool.
They could take as many of them down to the spike as possible. That'd be really good for them, and it's going to be a lot. That's a good, I think, a well-handled eco for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's honestly not bad.
And you can
like, it doesn't look that great.
No, they're not necessarily going to win a round by the mid presence right there because NRG end up opting to go towards B. But what they do is, if they did choose to go in the middle there, there's going to be a gunfight. If they do end up in that place, maybe you can win the round. If not, then of course you're going to have to do some finagling on the B side to maybe get some kills, and that's what they do. So I think they'll take that.
Not nearly the same amount of mid-presence this time from the defensive side, as it seems like they're more interested in farming the Orb A, taking some of that space.
But look at this as well. NRG reinvesting into this round. Only 2 players did not need to buy a rifle, so this is a canceled bonus because of that eco. So this round is much more crucial than you would think. Sam is going to get the reckoning up. And we have seen so far a very, very focused attempt at this B side from NRG. Expect it again.
That ult could be key. Mizuno's very close to having his too.
The question is whether they even use the ult to execute, because so far they've been just with that double wall going up, able to take this site and plant, no problem.
So first rifles here for Leviatan.
A bit further back, dropping the mollies, and there's the reckoning. The nade too, a shot has to tuck tail and has to run away.
All the utility there used from NRG definitely clears the site. Really
At what point do you think we see Leviatan start sending somebody on the flank on this B push?
Flash away, and he was just up too far.
So I'm still maintaining some space with that cascade though, and they're gonna have to use a Trailblazer.
Numbers in favor of Leviatan here.
It's hard to say their retake strategy hasn't been working since they haven't had the same artillery, but
so does Victor, and Psalm will follow suit.
You can see here this time around, looks pretty clean on the retake for Leviatan.
Massive round from Leviatan, handled all the aggression. Artis, Psalm, all trying to take a little bit more space. It's not like full-on pushes into spawn or anything like that, just a little bit more space to find any little advantage they can.
And honestly, it was much more than we've seen from them up until this point.
Oh, for sure. And even in prior games, too.
All right, first round goes towards Leviatan. Obviously, Rifle's not going to be full on the side of our NRG here.
Through in the late round, but then as well, Leviatan coming in.
They're saving to make sure they're good on the following round.
Heaven. It's not something very common to consider at all. An artist has tried maybe twice already to go.
Mizuno has.
One time he canceled it, the other time he doesn't. But look,
the ult available for Leviatan. That's it.
Look at the economy for NRG. They actually are investing 2 guns, getting more and more common to see this kind of hero buys coming out.
Light armor on all but one. crash shoes. He doesn't have any of it. Speaking of which, he's going to be the lone soldier working his way through art. Alarm bot on the other side of this wall too, so even if he tries to get a little cheeky and take some of that space, his position will be given away.
I think for Finesse here, major goal is to spot exactly what the rest of the map looks like in terms of setup. But the funny part is Leviatan has done a great job adapting and changing it for this round, knowing that that's going to be a goal for him. The amount of respect these teams have
All right, here's our push through art here, chat.
How their scrim partners has been immense. And you
okay.
Nice pick from Artis out of A main, though. That's through a smoke. Through 2 smokes.
That's huge shoe. That puts so much.
It's honestly an impressive pick on the king.
Mazzino to be the one to try to control space and deny vision. Shy playing back sight. Has to wait for the molly to clear. Now the reckoning invested. He passed right by him.
Oh.
He's not able to get anything. But Victor can. He's gotten 2 on the round. Tagalia, the only one remaining in the round, and he eventually falls. Does NRG get 3?
Well,
they only had 2 rifles in that one.
IS2's all it takes.
that's big because they're able to upgrade a couple of them more to rifles too, right?
They didn't even find anything in that secret position, but Artis, Victor, huge rounds from Victor. I especially love.
You got the Viper's Pit and the Seekers available to you over on NRG side.
There's been nobody on Leviatan that's able to actually respond. Only spam is possible. So much goodness coming out of the utility of the harbor from NRG, from Som.
You'd have to imagine that NZR isn't going to use their Seekers on the Leviathan side, right? Not on a Chico.
Oh, they're hiding for this too.
Dude, they're gonna want to fight this. This is gonna be scrappy. The question is, how far up do NRG go?
That's a great flash.
Yeah, but how much info are you really getting? You know it's on this side of the cascade, but you don't know how many.
They've got a setup here. A molly as well. They start swinging the high tide coming in.
This could be trouble.
Oh.
It looks like it is going to be for NRG. 2 have already fallen.
Carrying spike.
Finesse and Som remain, and the trap that Leviatan set for them, flawless.
That molly on the backside of the map that Som is.
They thought they were smart pushing up there.
In front of it too, so many people vulnerable to the
trying to catch him up. Yeah, Eco here. The Chico. How you doing, Oogie?
I do like how Finesse.
Happy Monday, fam.
Pounced on taking back some mid control, using the space that turret held for the longest time.
They should know here too that it is primarily just pistols on the other side. So yeah, you're down numbers pretty considerably, but maybe you consider going for it.
Leviatan didn't pick up any guns, so Som working to pick. There's 3 players here. Oh, there it is.
Big. Finesse has his Seekers too.
That's a good start.
I've got your trail.
Right now. Seekers drop. The flash is going to be there as well.
Som fell though.
Som fell. It's on. On to the leader for NRG. 49.
Yeah, but you know where the last one is?
No armor. Spike finally gathered up.
He's considering.
He's expecting it and he spotted him. Not able to land the shots, but he's surrounded. Way too many targets to deal with. A 1v2 now.
How do you get the plant down?
There's no way.
He gets the spike?
That's insane. Finesse.
Is he actually? Shut up.
You can hear the remaining members of Leviatan thundering around as the spike takes away.
He's looking heaven right now, Taco.
He's patient though. No flashes.
This is patient to not enter into heaven just yet. There we go. Nice.
The tap from Shy as he repositions. He's gonna go for the kill. But how far up does he go? He's right beneath.
He knows. He knows. He knows. Ooh, that finesse. Oh. Sheesh.
What a recovery.
Dude, low-key, when he shot it first, I thought he botched it.
Yeah.
I thought he botched it.
He played that so well from beginning to end. As soon as the trap was sprung on B-Long, he knew what he had to do. Knew what Som had to do.
You mean FNS?
The decisiveness from this guy.
Or finesse?
This is why people put
not
him in
Venus.
status.
What do NRG do now? A bit more lean towards A. They have Som's ult and Victor's to work with.
Dude, yeah, the FNS is really cold. You ain't lying.
Right? That was an ego.
Ice in the veins.
So I'm looking now at Leviatan. They've got the Killjoy lockdown. They've got the Seekers of their own. Takolia has the Yop as well. And it's actually up head-to-head with Artis on this A side.
Cascade's going to provide some pressure.
Here.
This is...
I'm about to make me some soup here in a minute, chat. I'm actually kind of hungry. I didn't even think about it. Before I pop live.
There's also a Trailblazer that
nice
went
molly.
While there's pressure, on B from Victor, as you just mentioned.
They just want to work a pick. They've been so good at it so far. Artist specifically has literally killed Nowser in that secret area.
Toxin screen down.
I think you see here the maturity from Leviatan as well, not falling prey to the manipulations of utility. They stay disciplined, but Taco having to dance around. He still has that op, as you mentioned, but he's stunned up here. Has to give the space away.
And once again, this is another easy hit where nobody can respond.
Finesse once again.
Shy's waiting.
Him too. This is actually very interesting.
How far do they go? The Seeker's going to give him away, though. The Seeker's going to spot him, but are they wise to it? In the chaos, in the cacophony of the round, are they going to be wise to check that it's there? Yes!
Nice.
Nowser drops them. And now lockdown having to be navigated.
All right, 3v5.
Spike ticking away. Taco's going to be the first to tap Shy. The first line of defense overwhelmed and dropped, but can Taco hold it through the cove? Yes, he can.
Nice.
And that's all because the flank fails. That's all because the Seekers go through. So a little bit of mistake there, not recognizing that those were up. And also Victor had his,
I mean, how easy is it to tell
and then decided not to, maybe because they had so many people
exactly where people are at on their orbs? You never, I mean, I guess there's kind of some math to it before I finish that statement. Never mind.
I think that's a good adaptation. I think that's a good attempt. But from Leviatan as well. You can tell how often these guys are considering the flanks. I mean, even in that finesse 1v2, Taco Leo is watching for it.
I guess it's a point I don't need to ask, you know?
Very aggressive here up D-Long.
Pushing the pace.
A huge kill. Psalm, the Harbor. That B hit that we've been seeing over and over, we've probably seen it 4 times up to this point.
Okay.
Is significantly weakened.
Not having that high tide, not having the cascade. But now, and Leviatan don't have the op. They don't have Taco.
I think the big thing here, though, is that they do still have a little bit of extra coverage with Victor's pit.
Yeah.
So I think Leviatan still win condition for this round is maybe stop this hit from coming through at all.
Harbor's wall layered right over Vipers.
Crashes as
Keep that one in the draft.
And so, speaking of the win condition, they probably aren't going to be able to do much against this at all. They're probably going to have to fall off site again. And the pit is going to be put down.
Dude, Crashies took a ton of spam damage there. He's down to 36 HP. He is going to get healed up a little bit. Hard is clearing out back site. The Viper's pit invested, but Crashies falls. They're considering the flank. You see Victor staring down.
Right there.
Where do Leviatan go from here? The flash in the face. They have to turn away.
4v3. Can they find
just a moment.
Victor's the...
Oh! The pit, and the shotgun just narrowly misses.
Oh, they're not.
2v2 now. Pit still in play. Shy trying to control back side, but there's no one there. Everyone is tucked in the pit. Now Shy falling, and King with not a ton of room.
It's a 5th round here already for NRG.
Not a ton of time.
Solid.
Leviatan Talia 3rd. NRG 5-2 now. That was again, the pit coming down from Victor. He rushed down after considering the flank for a second, especially after Crashies died. You mentioned how often they were looking at that flank. And that one's tough. I think as well, King there could have been a little bit more reactive as a response to NRG. I mentioned how much they wanted to stop that, how much they wanted to prevent that lockdown, the pit from coming in, but those two in combination, way too difficult. And Taco has the knives here. They're gonna go aggressive here on A.
Remember, he was very aggressive with the op. Found a huge pick. This time
Twitch is re-adding out these ad incentives up to 10 minutes an hour, bro. Fuck that.
Ooh. That dog missed there.
Yeah. Was able to sidestep it, but info gathered. And off of that Q alone, they're going to want to rotate through Link.
NRG's showing so much options with their comp. The mid control here from everything.
And it's interesting. You see how far back Bowser's playing and where King was looking. They were concerned that they had lost Art and they were pushing in through mid.
And he's making the right call. He just flashed again through sewers. Checking if that's happening. They're feinting a B split. But instead, that just got them.
Look at how far up Crashies is, bro.
Miss did not spot him moments ago. Pivoting all around. Sam got his high.
Is Crashies gonna move through waterfall?
Cascades.
Taco still here, and the flash is going to spot him. The blades
No.
no longer
Cascade from
surprised.
Azina, though.
30 seconds left.
She's trying to hold him back. The turret, first to go.
Falling into Taco right now.
He really has no other choice. He doesn't know where to go.
Spike down.
And he may not
What?
want to go anywhere as Mizzino finds a third.
Wow.
There's no time here anymore for NRG either. That is a huge hold. And the idea for them was to get that pit out and pivot based off of picks, but Leviatan gave them nothing.
Why wasn't Victor and
You saw Crashies wanted to get a pick
Finesse
in
pushed
Tour.
up a little bit more on
They
that
wanted to get a pick in B lane.
A
as well.
main? Weren't they around the other side of that
Over and
cove?
over. Leviatan is just giving them nothing, no inches.
Or not cove.
I think that continues to speak to the
The
respect that these two teams showed each
fucking- the
other
fucking thing.
at lock-in. They scrimmed against each other so often.
Spike down.
And what a fitting first match for these two teams to have after the respect, which you normally don't see between two teams, especially two top teams.
Yeah.
These are contenders for the Americas title this season, without a doubt.
Big flash. Taco peeking on the other side of the wall. Stays. Woo. Just for a moment.
Game plan has definitely shifted here for NRG. First 4 rounds was all B, all day. And it's not necessarily based off of anything from Leviatan either. I think they've had major success on this side. Maybe a little scared of that B-long eco idea that was coming out from them, and Taco pushing up.
Sure.
They just want to focus on the control
Okay.
than anything else.
Oh, got stuck.
And it bashes his face into the wall. Now working his way forward. Again, you still have Taco back there. That nade will provide some pressure. And now they have once again.
They have location on one.
How far up does Artis go?
They have location on the op, which is most
The
important.
reckoning that's going to be coming in from the defensive side as well. And Artis stun still pushes forward. Still gets one on to Nowser.
Oh!
Now Sam is
Oh!
They're trying to swing out. Sam gets another on to King. That's 3 on the round for him.
Immediately pivoting to try to
Damn.
find that op.
Yeah.
He's here in
Shy's gonna try and save it though. That's all you can do at this point.
Had him. They know he's falling back now. That turret, thankfully for him, gives him the cue that they're chasing.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time here, though. Look at all the traps he's leaving along the way. But
Bro,
also-
they are running his ass down, dude. Mer girl,
Guy's just running
give me them toes.
Get me out.
Yeah, he might make it back to the A site before the spike deploys. Running a marathon out here.
Important thing is he keeps the op, as you mentioned, so Taco will still have it.
Keep on mentioning this execute on both sides of the map, but
2020 now. Holy shit.
Down with the high tide and the sometimes double cascade. You don't get that from any other
That's crazy.
controller other than Harbor, and he's using it to full effect. You're able to block fully the secret line. You're able to block flowers. And if you go for an A main too, you can block both flowers and art too. So everything can be covered. Love to see how that
Good
gives the
Leviatan
team
timeout.
such a marvelous pivot in the mid round. It's really, really fun to watch. As long as both teams don't just agree to go for post plan after post plan after post plan, because we've seen that too with this comp.
Yeah, absolutely.
We still feeling 3 maps, chat?
Finesse, 'cause I
Or
don't
are we feeling any
think he
different
said,
after the
well,
first 9 rounds?
The content piece leading up to
I know
that,
it's
he
early,
said something
only
to the
one
effect of,
side.
I just hope we destroy them. And that felt like vintage Finesse, right? And then for him to start off the way that he has,
Definitely feels like
this feels like him.
NRG's
not
really
early
in tune though right now,
this feels
doesn't
like him like in the throes of it at his peak.
Yeah. And the crazy part too is we didn't really touch on the changes that came with this comp, but Finesse has never played Sky before. Victor never played Viper before. They're new to this agent, but they both look like they've been playing it for so long.
Wave crashing, carrying spike.
The mind games that they play, man. Even just the cascade up towards A main to deny info, to deny vision. forcing a little bit of respect out of the defensive side.
I like this from Mizzino. He's much, much closer than he normally is in B-Link. And there really hasn't been any response. We haven't really seen NRG go for massive B-Link play outside of one time they threw the Cove and the secret fake over towards B, that they walked through the Cove into sewers. And normally that's a big point with these Harbor Viper comps, is you throw a wall similar to that just went out. So you could break alarm bots, that you can feint some presence that throw another cascade, that could be pushed through. They're finally starting to show that loud variation, and this one is better, honestly. Look at how these guys have gotten up sewers. Normally this high tide does not go as far.
They've cleared the alarm bot. They've cleared the
He knows he's there, though.
That, but they're forcing more utility out of defensive side. Nowser having
smart call.
But it's so good from Nowser too. I mean, they know that this is a consideration. See if the cascades can block everything here for NRG.
Reckoning use, and those two mollies are so good at just delaying the entry from NRG, even with the Cove. Now they have the Viper molly they're going to have to navigate through, but Artist gets up top, gets over it, and gets a kill onto King.
Oh,
nice way to fall back.
Dude, that's really cool.
That's really smart.
Give the position for him to be sprayed down.
Artist is weak here, but he's in a cheeky spot. No, he falls. 2 down from NRG. Sam training back to a 3v3 here. Sam gets another. Eventually needs
2v2.
A 2v2 as the spike ticks away.
Look at Finesse. He's on the flank again.
Oh, but he's getting pushed back. He's getting chased. Nowser's trying to force him off the angle, and he does.
To be all left, Victor.
Healthy. Dropped.
One.
First, the second, not able to land. 3 out of Nowser as he gets to defuse as well.
All right, 4-6. Let's go.
We're getting scrappy as we end this half off. That hit with no vision blockers. They didn't have a high tide. They didn't have the cascades. They used it all for that B-Link presence that we talked about. That did net them sewers. And Sam's still able to surprisingly get 2 kills there while he's isolated by himself. But
I feel like Leviatan's done a really good job on slowing things down on the defensive side. During this timeout, I'm going to go make a bowl of soup real quick,
the
chat.
space they need to actually challenge that fight.
Second time out of the half call, this time from NRG. As you mentioned, we're nearing the end of this first half here. See what they can do to close this out. I want to go back to Leviatan in particular because, you know, we talked about Taco having the op on a few instances, and he's found some success. Again, I think about that early pick down B long, but he's been relatively quiet.
Yeah, it's hard against this comp, man. The vision blockers, like I said, we've seen like, for example, Loud even go against Harbor Viper on this map, or a variation of that, and Aspas struggles against that, and he's one of the best operators in the world, so it's not surprising for me to see Takulia have that same sort of idea going for him. I look to the next half for him against this comp specifically. He's trying to float a little maybe too much, I guess, but you have to against Finesse, otherwise they just read it too well. You have to. And you can't really get too aggressive either because you know how often NRG is considering that sort of idea. Definitely, if I'm owner, I'm working on.
Yeah, I made it back in time too.
If he did get an op dropped, or excuse me, carried into this round.
No armor here.
And I like this. Okay.
I mean, they've bought down a fair amount here. Op's still not used.
Looking to push A. You see everyone rotating over.
Actually survived the last round.
From that seaside.
Against that attempt from Victor on the 1v2.
So it looks like they're committed to this. Or they're going to commit to this, I should say.
Nothing has been spent.
Nothing has been heard. There's the first. Instantly, the Viper orb goes up. And they're able to preserve some of the utility that's still set up. Oh, but Artist is just full sending, and oh no! That's unfortunate. Can they convert off of that, though? Can they navigate through that mistake?
Oh, Shy's gonna... Oh, it's a really good flash as he was going to turn the corner.
Leviatan holds the line. Sam left in this 1v3. The spike was planted, and that's all it is.
Tied up a half?
Gonna get the defuse, or actually hand it off to Nowser, or hand it off back to Mizzino.
Yeah, it's tough in that situation. Like, ooh, who actually gets it? Yeah. Because it's the last round of the half, so.
Which one do we want more?
Yeah, it's also who's feeling it enough that they can get 3 orbs in a round, you know? So Mizzino is the choice. And I think his ult has been powerful. He is at the top of the scoreboard, so let's see if they can get it. Shy was obviously dead already.
Spike planted.
Huge.
One enemy
from Leviatan, but a big blunder from Artis. That nade going in the back of side, I was just about to compliment NRG actually on all the utility that clears out all the space. And you see the reason why Leviatan has to play offsite so much, but that one a little bit of mistake.
So NRG's been kind of quiet here the last couple rounds.
As well. So his nade insta-killed him.
There were a lot of assists on that kill on the kill feed. Off of that, 2 members of NRG.
They're looking to make a push through door?
And again, you see this, you talked about this high tide, this exact high tide a couple of times.
Yes, but this time there's a response. Mazzino already put his down. There's an alarm bot on the other side. Broken actually by the satchel. So considered here from NRG. Literally every little thing. The turret on the A main push. They don't have to worry about this, how this hit the site.
They should know these mollies are here. They've been set up every time. Reckoning used the alarm out there, and sure enough, the mollies there.
Reckoning cleans them off site. Smart.
39 HP.
Finesse is here. They can get the heal going. Finesse has Earth.
Oh, Crash is pushed so far up.
Right now. Oh, just in time.
It was in this exact spot in the previous round that Leviatan just wiped the floor with NRG. All of the fight concentrated here in a 5v5. Spike ticking away. Saw him the first to fall. Leviatan getting a second, but Victor's on the flank.
Gives a good flank here. Oh. FNS.
1v3 first spotted, dropped the second. Not able to connect as King comes flying around.
Tied up at half, huh?
The kill and the defuse.
But what is that though? Both Finesse and King, the IGL.
Full score, 5-1.
King is run spraying Finesse.
Then 6-3.
Jump run spraying, yeah. Let's take a look at that one more time.
I'm not gonna lie, I did have this.
Nah, 5-3.
I saw the vision from Finesse. I saw the opportunity. He already had one nasty clutch.
Yeah. Oh, and you can tell, man. He wanted it. It was close. It was within reach. We're going to throw it down to Golden Boy at the desk. Break down the first half. It's been a close one, Golden Boy.
I'm sitting down for food when I come back.
I mean, I'll tell you what, that has been an absolutely stellar display of Valorant that we just saw between 2 fantastic teams already kicking off on Monday, waking us all up here. Screw caffeine when you got some great games to wake you up here. And let's just jump right into this one because, Brent, I think, you know, now that we shift gears toward Leviatan, we're all tied up 6-6. What happens as we go into this next half?
I think they might have an edge going into that next half. And I've actually pulled an instance from a previous match they played versus Vitality. And it was a pistol round strategy. And it's simple at its core, but it worked really well. And this is one of the bread and butter things that we were talking about that's so good with Leviatan is that they are able to cook up these strategies. And it just comes down to, in this case, an A split, making sure they use the dog off the turret's contact to take an easy kill. They split into the site. It actually goes a little bit haywire here. Vitality managed to contain, but look at how fast Leviatan are to take good trades and follow up off of this. There's no hesitancy as they refight into art and end out this pistol round here. And it ends.
That's definitely one thing you do notice about Leviatan, right? Like they definitely move with urgency and with decisiveness.
Of this half that we just witnessed as well, because it was NRG leading very, very heavily, getting the better of a lot of the retake attempts from Leviatan. But at the end, they were cleaning up just those trades towards the end and just finding out that they were edging out ever so slightly, being able to take much better fights.
Yeah, and when we have the 2 Harbor Viper comps going up against each other, rounds will often be defined by, on attack with Harbor Viper, you want to be playing post-plant. On defense with Harbor Viper, you want to be playing retake. So this half was all retakes, and I expect that to continue into the second. And I want to talk about the difference between these 2 comps, which is Artis on the Raze. On your defensive side, I think that Raze gives you a lot of extra options, particularly at shutting down those B long hits. Because while there is a lot of walls going up, there's a cove going up to protect the planter and utility to pressure, what you gain with this Raze over the Jet is a nade that you can throw into that cove, you can break the cove, you can pressure the planter.
Didn't Artis like nade like 3 of his teammates last round?
Faster flood retakes when you can shut down that plant. Artis has already been good in the first half, but I think this half is where we see this choice absolutely find more value. But again, Bren, it does come down to this pistol round as the scoreline is 6-6.
Yeah, and we've already seen some cutesy ideas from Leviatan as well. Round 5 in particular in that half was really, really special in that half fight. They cooked up something for it. I'm expecting those ideas to continue.
All right, well, let's go ahead and see what both of these teams are cooking. We're going to send it right back over to your casters.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. 6-6 half, and honestly, given the pedigree of these two teams, how excited we've been to watch both of them, not just individually, but then also play against each other. This really just feels like par for the course. This is what we expected.
Yeah, this was what I was looking for in the Americas League since I heard that it was going to happen. This is a marquee intra-regional matchup. We don't get to see LATAM versus North America this often, and we're going to see it all season, so...
Oh yeah, what that for? 4-1? So 4-1, 5-3. Now 6-6, huh?
Time we saw the death touch on their pistol rounds. And NRG won the first one, but that at lock-in was actually not the trend. NRG was struggling in their pistol rounds, whereas Leviatan, like Brent said, having some really cool ideas. And you see the difference. NRG just went for a really, really fast B hit. Here, Leviatan is relying on a little bit more control, even though the utility on these pistol rounds is not really plentiful.
I do think part of it was due to how NRG played the opening to this round, too. Instantly took a main control. They flashed over the top to apply some pressure onto Shy. And now he's taking some damage. That early nade goes back to what Mimi was saying. Yeah, it's on A instead of B, but it just feels like Raze has a bit more options as far as delaying and denying space.
Well, they're going to re-clear here. Let's see what they can do without that nade.
Oh, there are a lot of people
here.
4. NRG have numbers, but the kills go back and forth and back and forth. NRG coming out on top, though.
Flipping the stats on their head right now. Shy.
I was gonna say, what do you do here if you're Shy besides just bend over and accept it?
Line swung and dead. NRG takes the pistol.
That big clash inside of Art. Leviatan thought it was well timed. They thought they were walking in dry to find a pick, but no. Artis, Victor. I think there was 3 players there, 1 from sewers and 2 from A. Clearing Art together and swinging at the worst possible time for Leviatan.
All right, so NRG wants the pistol. See if they can use this.
On the hands of Taco. Meanwhile, I think we're gonna continue to see the same setup from NRG. They're gonna fight for A main control. The flash over the top from Finesse, the wall down from Sam, and space taken. The orb gathers.
Dude, I mean, sometimes, you know what I mean? Besides, if you just relax, it doesn't hurt as bad normally.
Everyone goes to Leviatan's side.
Sometimes if you like try and fight at you, let the mental get to you, and the fact that you feel like you should have won a round when you shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta accept that you're not gonna win every round.
Yeah, it was not clean at all.
And when we look at the gun rounds actually from that first half, it was 6-2 in favor of Leviatan, which is crazy.
Given the score, yeah. I believe, yeah, both cascades were used by Sam. High tide going up at just the right time as Leviatan creeping their way forward.
Chat, how many people? Oh, actually, I'll wait.
Covering one flank, and they have King, making sure there's no pressure coming in from Link, too.
Toxin screen down.
They're going to rotate back. Taco has gotten some space, and I think the other thing is he hasn't necessarily been challenged here.
I love this from Finesse, though. Might get him into some trouble with the rotate coming through, but that's a free pick. And there is no more Viper. So this wall is not going to be there. Thankfully, they still have Mazzino up. He's got a cascade as well that they could use.
There's actually so much info that NRG have just gotten off of Finesse's pick, and the fact that he re-cleared Art. They still have the alarm brought up in Link as well. You've kind of, by process of elimination, figured out exactly where they are. Now with 13 seconds left, that's going to confirm everything. Taco with the Cloudburst and the dash. Space taken away. Victor creeping his way forward. Concealed behind the wall. Crashies strikes at just the right time.
That's just NZR, right?
It wasn't clean the first time around. This one was.
Yep.
Absolutely necessary. Because while the stat I just said moments ago,
flawless
gun rounds, 6 went to Leviatan. Part of that was because the bonus was canceled. Part of that was because economically NRG was struggling.
Yeah.
It was tough for them to get a string of rounds outside of the pistol, outside of that anti-eco. Let's see what they put together here. This one is a true bonus. Leviatan, plenty of weaponry. I think King getting caught off there by himself in middle. Finesse in his head, knowing exactly how he's going to play, knowing how his team is going to rotate, knowing that.
Oh, I guess it is technically draft month. Would that be in April now, huh?
As he peeked the door.
Oh, chap.
It's huge.
If I pop live for Game Changers, who's going to jump in here and hang out with your boy? Real question.
That they're going to need to rely on at some point.
Trying to figure out if I'm doing watch parties or if I'm going to try and chill this week.
Artist holding the angle. Got a Marshall.
I do want to also get some other videos done.
Vision denied. The orb farmed by Leviatan.
Another thing too about Harbor right there, you see that cascade? That thing is high. You can't see over the top of that angle that Artist was trying to play on. And again, a reason why maybe Taco Leo was struggling on that first half.
All right, first rifle round. Remember, this is where Leviatan was able to start bringing things back last round. There's only one round.
Pivot all the way to the other side.
But then, you know, dominoes start falling into place afterwards.
NRG on this side. Shy's going to call that information. Walking back now. There's not going to be much time to pivot here. So with that flash and art not spotting anything, that was really deep. NRG's going to get a setup here very close to A main that is brutal to deal with.
Victor's the only one not close by. Everyone else within striking distance. Finesse playing close. The dash there, and he's going to swing into it. Taco Leo taken care of. Courtesy of Artist, and that was their entry. That was their go. How do they get past this now? It's going to be so much more labor.
Ooh.
15 seconds.
This is going to be so difficult to get
Nope.
through.
They're just cluttered here. There's nowhere else to go.
Brutal crossfire.
Yep.
You called it, Bala. Because of that deep flash, they were able to get further up. They were
Do they try and push up and take rifles? Ah! Why didn't you call it out?
All right. Either way.
Sorry, they got 3 rifles though off that.
No, but they deny all the guns, so that's good. I mean, even if they lose somebody, that was a bonus for them, so they were going to buy in the next round anyways.
Leviatan timeout on that? Probably? Or are they going to wait until they lose one more round?
From Finesse there.
Nope, they called timeout here.
Cascade, high
Good
top,
call.
everything out. I was such a perfect read.
Unfortunate, man.
Perfect. Something that's really difficult in this game is you have to dynamically change your setups on defense because of what utility you have information-wise from the attack. Like a Trailblazer there. They saved that till the end of the round, and you can see how that could have been really bad. If that Trailblazer, I don't know what happened, didn't spot Finesse in that corner, didn't hit him at least. All of a sudden, that setup is broken. They know what's happening. They're going to pre-fire you, all sorts of things. And so you want to wait until that utility is used to deny them the space, deny them from taking the site, and then go into a closer crossfire. Most times, that's really difficult.
Nearing the end of this timeout called by Leviatan. They find themselves down 3 rounds. And they find themselves up against a full force NRG here.
That's their final timeout, too.
The buy's not great either.
Reckoning up from Mazzino.
I almost wonder
I think
in situations like that if it's better to wait for the timeout when you're heading into your rifle round. Because you would imagine they probably talked about this round slightly, but more of the talk was about the following round,
But with
right?
that bonus from NRG, with that successful bonus from NRG, yeah, you're right. It might need to be now. It's only 3 rounds, so the lead is not that ballooned yet.
Only Crash, he's here, and for him to get a kill with the molly, yeah.
He had a molly up there for the dash. That's
so smart.
So premeditated.
So Galaxy Brain, huge job from King though. Crash is falling too.
Wait,
that it needed to be a thrifty.
Reckoning coming in.
There's a 4v2 all of a sudden. Here's the nade coming in from Artist. Might cancel Mazzino.
That nade's gonna be
That's a really good. Oh, he actually escaped from the.
Remember, where's Artist? He's 1 point away from having showstopper.
They're all backside here. NRG, that's going to be really difficult to consider, but they're also lining up. So Som, an opportunity. Look at the flank though as well from Shy.
Timing here is everything. They were just checking it. But the Viper wall keeps him back for now. So many things you have to consider. So many things you have to deal with.
GG's.
King gets 3
Well,
on
good
it,
rounds.
kills get
Not
traded,
GG's.
and we teed it up. There was the thrifty we were looking for.
They needed it, they got it. That is... owner asked for it, and they
Still though,
just a fast B hit.
2 ults down there on NRG's side, down here. Whereas you don't really have anything close just quite yet. Over on the side of Leviatan.
Dashing. That is ridiculous. He gets the full kill on him. And they still lose the round to the Sheriffs. Light armor all the way through for NRG. A little aggressive here with Artist's op. They're trying to set him up.
All right, so now they got 1 to the left thanks to the Trailblazer.
The turret really deep.
They don't know though.
Starting to trade back and fight for some of
Because
that
they're on the
space
same
that
side, on
NRG
the
has
opposite
full
side.
Control of this half.
At mid shops area.
I think you're going to be really scared to actually walk through this wall if Victor times it correctly. They do have a flash. Actually, no. Nowser.
I mean, Artis is on the way over.
Down early.
But with the killjoy down, you don't have to worry about the killjoy utility that was on the site.
So careful. Look at how meticulous they're being in clearing every single angle because of that wall that you were just referencing.
But look at the reposition from Artis. He started at Art in this round, and now all the way back belong.
Well,
Spike making its way
Artis got found.
Taco dashing forward. There's not going to be anyone backside either. Victor,
Oh!
And he's trying to get cheeky, but Mazzino was wise to it. Expected the pressure in the cove and drops him.
And now they're just going to fall back and save.
After he loses Artis, that was the setup. He needed his teammate there, but he went down.
Keep rifles in here, especially because you're the two people. Well, one of FNS is the one player who's got less than a tally in the bank after this.
And they didn't even move an inch. Finesse and Zomp didn't even move an inch on the map right now. Round is over. In a flash there. Just by Artis. That Taco Leah kill. Yeah, he's been struggling.
All right, 8-9 now.
Hey, that one might have just changed the game. Because this was a big invest. Thinking about it now, though. The investment from NRG. After they get eco'd, all light armor. All light armor. That is meta now. Without a doubt.
Yeah, who was it made that meta? Navi, right? Moon?
And again, light armor. Timeout called as well. What was a 6-9 lead has very quickly diminished and evaporated. Now just down to 1.
Leviatan almost back in clawing distance of tying up this game. One more round. And the interesting thing about them, while I've been looking at Artis and his
This is the last timeout
American soil, this is for
both teams, right? I think because NRG used their first one the first half.
Any intra-regional matches that have included NA and top teams of this level. Both of these teams punching up at loud for that first spot for the expected winners of this league. Because of these guys, there is no expected winner. We're wondering who's second, who's third.
It's just so crazy, too. I want to say that Des was talking about it. When you've got two teams of this caliber facing off this early in the season, you only get one shot. Right? It's single round robin. So when you think about potentially tiebreakers at the end of the year, it's huge.
Absolutely is. Impact of seeding and playoffs. We're such a long way away from that, but we have to talk about it with this matchup specifically, as they won't get another chance to play each other until playoffs.
Playoffs? Sorry.
Molly for the bottom of B lane.
I'm just hoping we can win the game.
Fast hit from Leviatan. Cascade all the way down. There's the high tide through.
How patient are Victor and Crash?
Another Molly, right where they're expecting it.
Victor this time not pushing into the cove, getting his kill and getting away.
Look at the mind games there. He throws the Molly under this time, Victor. Finds Takolia with it. The vulnerable makes
He's just living in his head.
Instantly when he jumps up there. This is a really deep lockdown, so... Oh, what is Messina? Ooh.
Dying.
No, he had a brain fart there. Didn't realize what was going on. He should have gotten off site.
Not surviving. NRG out of the timeout. Looked very clean. Crashy's able to get the defuse to half, and he's just going to stick the whole way. 3 quarters, 90% done. Delivered. 10 for NRG.
There we go. NRG in a double digits here.
For Leviatan.
Able to save 2 rifles though, as far as the side of Leviatan.
By these well-considered counter mollies that are coming out from NRG. And the idea was really good there from Leviatan too. We didn't even mention King was on the other side of the map, but there was no point in mentioning it because the round ended that fast. He was going to hit a late, nasty flank through A. Does not need to be localized for that Viper wall, so he contributes to the execute, but he was the guy who was going to end the round. That's the IGL. So they want to go something similar, but not quite.
I mean, defensively, it's the same setup. It's the same plan.
Yeah, just Crashies and Victor.
Meanwhile, they continue to farm the orbs A. In the last round, Finesse got his ult off of that orb. This time, Sam 1 point away from his reckoning.
You know, the thing I was mentioning about Finesse never playing Sky, Victor never playing Viper, it makes sense when I see how Victor and Crashes are doing together on this B side.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've been a duo for probably over 1,000 days at this point.
Yeah. See if we can get a stat on that one.
They were a package deal in the offseason.
And you see why.
Ending up sticking with NRG. Finesse, Chet, all the guys here have such faith in them. The execute util is out here for Leviatan. The timing is good, landing as the mollies come, but that was a lot of time wasted on that high tide.
One Seeker makes it through. Ooh!
Really far back. Meanwhile, Taco getting one, falling.
We're running out of time now.
30 seconds.
30 seconds
and Victor's
left.
on the flank. He's gonna spot a couple of members.
Victor gets one. Victor gets two. Oh!
Mazzino no longer around. Victor feeling the pressure.
Bro, I thought he was about to whip out the Cat Classic. I ain't gonna lie to you, champ.
Able to do so as Leviatan snatched the round right back.
Crashies.
Crashies in this 1v2, and he's healthy. He's undetected. He slipped behind enemy line.
Oh! Damn.
King with the third in the round.
King is heroic. 3 kills out of the blue. When Crashes hit that flank, it was 2 players not looking at him. Yes, it was a little sloppy, but he delivered on those 2 kills. And NRG thought because of that, they have an opportunity to have a timing. Everybody's going to be looking.
Sure.
But King is still there on site.
He's had some huge moments, man.
That was the player NRG was focusing on as the player to hype up on this Leviatan squad. The reason why they were excited to play against them. The reason why they were slightly fearful of them.
I suggest you move.
This is so well done. This is so cool. The reckoning out from Leviatan. Gonna create some space B. But the timing is a little different from NRG here. Didn't farm the orb, so
bro, wait, what?
Faster. It's not just Victor and Crashies here. They have a little bit more help.
You should run.
Lockdown used. Crashies dancing behind, and Mazzino just destroys him. Waiting for another.
Yeah, they can't get in.
Clothesline, yeah.
Lockdown's up. Reckoning was going off as well, keeping them in the site too. That nets them another kill. They're still going to charge for this.
Yeah, I mean, they have the pit. They have some tools. Time is short, though. If they're going to do it, they got to do it now. Pit invested. Sam on the swing. Taco cleans him up. 2 left here.
I mean, there's just no way here, right?
Artist is saving his op.
Yeah.
One enemy remaining.
Victor is literally just by himself trying to get them close. That was a weird investment.
Yes, it was.
And I was actually thinking about Leviatan's ult as well in that round with the lockdown that they used.
So they've got 4 rifles saved here for Leviatan. Only got the op saved on the side of Artist.
A little bit desperate in some of these rounds. You saw one round Victor diving into the orb, trying to deny the plant. This time going for a Viper's Pit.
Well, not even that, but also Sam swinging out from backside, seemingly by himself. It was a wide swing too. It does feel like a little bit of forcing, perhaps.
Yeah. And finally, we have a little bit of struggles economically. NRG feeling the inflation.
It's a wild economy we live in, man. Judge for Finesse. And where Leviatan previously found success on a fast hit B, this time it's Artis playing alongside Victor. Far up, and for good reason.
There's that op finally coming to life for Artis. It's because finally
has Leviatan had a lead all
catching the little
game? I don't think so, right? This will be their first lead.
Even deny a little bit of space. I think that cascade is part of it. Molly as well coming in cross map from Victor.
Wave crashing.
Yeah, cheeky lineup for that.
It's a little bit of damage. That counts a lot.
Vision blockers aplenty, as you mentioned.
Cove as well.
Xeno first. Shy does 2, and you're right.
Oh. Well, so much about
Leviatan just not able to
Leviatan
keep NRG back.
getting their first lead.
This is ridiculous.
Actually, not only is it now going to be a lead for NRG, but they didn't lose a single rifle.
Because of the minor details.
So all they'll have to reinvest is a couple of half shields, since half shields is kind of the meta now, like they were talking about anyways.
From both sides.
Yeah.
Both halves.
Interesting. NRG now going to have a 1-round lead. You do have the Viper's Pit available over on the Leviatan side.
Small clutches here and there. Small 1v1s that are
Lockdown available shortly for NRG, whether it's this round off an ult orb or a kill or next round sometime.
still light armor. The staying power of this light armor buy coming in from NRG is ridiculous when it's put in their hands.
Heavy lean B from NRG, nothing spotted. Leviatan want to go fast A. And they look good for it, too.
I say they need to push this quicker because there's only 2 players on site.
Taco's pushing forward, and surely you suspect something like this. Yeah, the Trailblazer cleared out. He's going to try to get away as the pit drops. Leviatan dropping the first.
Became an easy target once he went airborne.
And Nate's going to force the Viper out, actually. King takes
nice.
a lot of damage.
Is he going to be able to tuck back in to keep it up? Yeah, it looks like he is. Playing just on the outskirts of it. You've got mollies you're going to have to deal with, and NRG are going to have to push the pace. Now they're able
Oh, they don't know about the one to the left. They don't know about the...
That was clean.
That's brutal. That's brutal. Just the decay, the molly.
We're all tied up at 11, baby.
Energy. I mean, you wonder if Victor had his pit, how different this could have gone.
Sure. Yeah.
If he can get up close to A main, pit back, and then all of a sudden they're also 1 HP while they're spamming you back, you just end up with a completely random round.
And you know, very quickly, I want to touch on Taco's play there because we've mentioned a couple of times now. He's
for Taco Dia,
perhaps has struggled a little bit. And you look at that play and
Chat,
you go, wait,
just wanted y'all to know on the side. Not only did I have chicken noodle soup,
he doesn't take that fight, and yeah, he dies.
But I did indeed have a soda on the side.
He doesn't do so. The pit doesn't go down. The spike doesn't go down.
Oh, for sure.
And it's all just buying time. A sacrificial lamb in a sense.
I think Midway understand that. I think Taco understands that. And that's why he's considering doing it over and over and over. I remember the rounds on B, he's diving in those mollies. He's not
If you know, you know, champ.
That's his job. That's the execute. That's the plan. Early pick here, trying to get given to Artis.
Oh,
Nade in the stun.
That nade is good. The flash too.
Nade missed, actually.
Did not hit at all.
A little bit of damage, but no, not much.
And now they're there to top him off.
By the way, if you get it, you're cool, chat. It's all good.
I think it was Nauser in the corner, so the 84-17 that you see. That's the nade damage. That wasn't much at all.
Poison's off.
Whatever.
I mean, he's just down to basically the HP situation that NRG's at, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mazzino with his Reckoning. Seeing how difficult it is for the 2 players on the site to hold while Reckoning's going off.
Yeah, but no, Crashies has his lockdown here, and if he keeps his position, that was a very deep one he used last time.
All right, Reckoning.
Lockdown dropped instantly.
Proactive lockdown. Last time it actually got Mazzino in trouble. Remember, he wasn't able to get off the site. Taco's still committing to this too.
Yeah, through the damage from the turret. How's King already gotten 2?
He got 2, but 2 players detained now. Crash is actually
brother.
Forget about taking the fights. Crashy's in the cove. He's going to get it. He's just going to stick it the whole way.
Oh! No, it didn't work.
He's gotten it to half. So
bro, 1v3 though.
Outnumbered, and there's going to be a swing coming from so many different angles. Leviatan claw their way back in and get
Damn, bro. Is Leviatan about to bring this thing back and win it literally at the finish time? Finish line?
There. I like the idea when there's so many players detained.
Oh, chat, the thing that I said, actually, I'll wait till the end of this game.
Pushing while he fights the defuser, while he looks for the desperate kill through the smoke. And we're at match point for Leviatan. We're at the cap of regulation here. 24th round.
Don't keep them ground.
And NRG still has some sort of a buy here. Sam with no armor though.
It's messy, it's spotty at best. But it is a different look. They leave Artisan Art. Leave some utility there too. In case he has to clear out, they have it covered.
And they're just giving the same look that they have been when Artis is trying to set up an Art. This time he's a little deeper, so once they don't spot him, once he's not walking all the way up into that alarm path that the adjustment has been made from Shy. It gives him a false sense of security because Artis is still there, just deeper. And he's in front of any of the harbor walls that might be thrown out. But look at Leviatan, they don't even really care. They're just set up, holding that space, making sure the flank's not going to come in fast and moving over towards the B side.
I mean, 40 seconds have elapsed in the round already, and take a listen. Nothing. Finally, we're starting to hear the silence broken.
That timing always for finesses. Right around the time cooldowns come back up. and also the time where you have to have decided which site you're hitting. So any information you gain there is so much more crucial the later in the round it gets.
Where's FNS sitting with this judge?
So you have to fill in the
Sitting
gaps.
with B-door, huh?
Is he going to do that? It doesn't look like it right now. Som and Victor, the only players here, but Victor's got a really cheeky position. He's never played for it before.
He's going to get spammed. Oh my gosh.
Oh!
Drops Taco. Goes and check. The spike is going to be planted. Som close by, but he's weak.
Long.
10 HP.
I've got your trail.
Oh, man.
How bold does he get?
What do you do here if you're FNS with the judge, bruv?
Cleared out, coming through.
Because you know they're going to all be down B long. Yeah.
Down long. King has a molly as well. And he's playing furthest back. The code.
No!
But that was the one line of defense they had. Everything else is going to be spam. Everything else is going to be guns. Mizzino dropping finesse.
It's not a great plant. Som's trying to creep on it, but with the wall going back down.
Oh, 13-11, man. When they get their first lead, 11-10? Always got to keep fighting, man. Always got to keep fighting.
Where NA teams historically have been so good. But here falling for the first time against Leviatan, who are now America's brethren. And Owner coming back on stage, hyping his players up. That was a hard-fought game. It might have
all right, chat. So what I was reading.
In a lot of instances with the amount of executes that were leading to saves on both sides. But man, the stress the two
an article that said,
King against finesse.
or not an article, a tweet, whatever. Same thing in 2023.
Honestly, the little the nuance, right? As we talk
from
about this
Esports
a couple of times,
GG.
right? The nuance. This is my favorite brand of
Activision Blizzard received a lawsuit from the U.S. Department of Justice, stating the publisher had suppressed the wages of OWL and CDL players. Activision immediately settled the lawsuit and released the statement. That's crazy.
But there were so many layers that got them to that point. Unreal performance out from Leviatan. It was really a complete effort. It may not always show up in the stats, but Leviatan looked good. They take down NRG on Pearl. We've got map 2 just around the corner. We'll be right back.
And what was Pearl? What was after Pearl? Lotus, right? Pearl Lotus split, I think. Were the maps for today? Does that sound right? Yeah, Pearl Lotus split for the maps today.
What is this from EA? He is currently
Chat, while we're in between games, man. If we got anybody in here, it's over on Kick. If y'all haven't already done so, hit that follow button, man. We're trying to chase down that first city 5 over here. But more importantly, over here on YouTube, where we've been vibing lately, man. Really enjoying the time with our community. We do a lot of watch parties over here. Not just for America's VCT, but do some ALGS. We watched a lot of EMEA for Super Week last week, so we're going to be watching a lot of week EMEA moving forward as well. We'll do some Pacific stuff, not too much because it's kind of hard with my sleep schedule. So if y'all are enjoying the vibes, 1, if y'all hit the like button, as it does seem to help out as far as the algorithm over here on YouTube. And 2, obviously, if y'all enjoy the vibes, want to make sure you're back, or you want to make sure you're back when we drop our long-form videos, like our interviews with players, coaches, doing predictions, pick'ems, stuff like that. Make sure you're hit the subscribe button, turn those notices on. Yo, what up, Iron Blood? How you doing, buddy? Happy Monday, fam.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
All right, so Leviatan able to bounce back and win their map. We're gonna be going to Lotus. Going pretty good, man. We had a appointment for little man's allergist today. That was a trip and a half. Because, you know, heaven forbid we would have had any allergists in our network out this far. But we had a good visit, decent visit. How about you, man? Hopefully your Monday's going today. Going well. You said getting your work done, so getting some work done's always solid. Oh, man. All right. So we're going to Lotus next. Pearl was good, man. What, 24 rounds? 11-13. We take those. We take those every day of the week, twice on Monday. Or Sunday, whatever it goes. Yeah. Hell yeah. What games you guys gonna be hosting them in? You gonna be doing some Apex? You are gonna let me cast? Please?
And with that, Leviatan get their win on their map pick of Pearl. They walk away with a 13-11 victory. What a great game that was. Of course, welcome back, Golden Boy, alongside Brendan Mimi, as we look to discuss that amazing first map between these two very game teams here. Mimi, this was honestly, like, you couldn't have asked for a better way to kind of, like, I made the joke before, but wake everyone up on a Monday.
Yeah, every one of these NRG games on Pearl thus far has been an absolute banger. Last time it was versus Loud, and now here versus Leviatan. This is an awesome
game. So in a best of two, you can tie.
Sometimes we've gotten to see this kind of new meta comp of the double controller play up against each other. And I thought both sides did a great job of playing to their respective composition strengths, which meant it was so often coming down to these post-plant retakes time after time. And Leviatan just edged out a little bit in being able to win those in the second half.
Yeah, but this round was a difference maker. Round 16, where they ended up winning the Eco round. It started off pretty rough, honestly. The counter-stratting of NRG was fantastic in terms of punishing Takaleo with the initiations, but this is the one that got them back into the game and into the action. Leviatan are a team, you can never count them out, even when they're on that weaker weaponry. They will find an idea and a way forwards to make sure that they edge it back as well if they end up losing a couple of those gun rounds. And like you said, Mimi, it was the tail end of these post-plant situations that they were just finding the edge. A cool idea, making sure they were prioritizing as well. Really good ultimates to cycle in these rounds as well. You can see the Viper's Pit, you know, paying off there as well. Covering, trading for them as well when these rounds really get down to these final moments and they're just trading and trying to get the diffusers off. And that was the thing that carried it forwards for Leviatan.
Yeah, the post plans were absolutely fantastic out of this squad. And for NRG, initially it seemed like the game plan was solid. They wanted to try and use this nade to deny plant.
I always feel bad for the casters sometimes when they're like have to break down games like this, but it's 11-13 between two teams that are like,
it was often 4v5 or 5v5 retakes, which Leviatan just had such good trading and utility to win out. And on top of that, despite the fact that it was a really close scoreline, Leviatan was 12-2 in the gun rounds. It was mostly like the pistol rounds, the bonus conversion that NRG managed to pull out that kept that game so close.
Yeah. Now, a question for you guys though, real fast, is there was a
that's an interesting stat actually.
The composition style, right?
That's actually kind of concerning for NRG. No,
like the Raze was was okay? Do you feel like Artis got to show us more with that, or
It
do you think
was.
there's more to come?
Leviatan 12 and 2 on
honestly, it was a big
rifle
IGL
rounds
moment where both of these teams were calling their minds, man.
That's true.
I mean, it was cases where King, I think, was getting a great grasp in terms of where Artis was playing, making sure that they consistently hit sites as well, where Artis wasn't playing, so he couldn't use
Valorant, you say?
denied a plant from going down in the first place, which was a massive key to victory.
I may not be the most knowledgeable about Valorant, but I can yell about esports. I can also probably get you in touch with some Valorant casters as well.
They managed to convert that bonus round. Really good job of playing the map and trapping Leviatan in when they played those slower mid rounds. And those slower mid rounds,
but honestly,
got the better of them on this map at lock-in.
I need to get me some
a lot more on
updated Valorant
reset executes,
tape.
particularly towards B with this composition that they were playing, and that just worked so well for them that NRG never found a solution. That now puts them in a pretty tough spot.
Yeah, it's very clear. Like this Lev team, they shoot for each other. They constantly cover one another. The individual skill.
Speaking of, I need to go download the VOD of the Zephyr.
Let's actually go ahead and check out our aim lab shoot around and talk more about Shy from Leviatan, because again, you know, another player that I think, you know, goes. It's safe to say, right, that every single one of the players on Leviatan have this upset potential, have this shutdown potential. Shy, obviously, I felt like he was a little quiet at times and had his moments.
He was a cog in the machine, I would say.
For sure.
In terms of this as well, because the difference maker that we've kept alluding to for Leviatan was cleaning up the post plans, but that came down to the trading, making sure that he took really good fights. And if somebody.
All right, so now that I know about the one thing, let me go back and look at
teammate there to respond in kind. And that's
the
really
schedule over for
against top teams
CS.
like NRG, like Leviatan, the thing that's going to be in a microcosm, the difference maker.
Yeah, it was this guy and his new role and the new player in Mazzino that were holding down the fort in those late rounds with the Astra utility and the Killjoy utility respectively, that was closing out these situations for Leviatan.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I think as well, I'm really interested to see as well moving forwards into this series which direction it's going to go back and forth, because when I saw Pearl being picked, I was a bit of a doubter, because I thought, okay, you picked Pearl into NRG, one of their best maps, and I was like, it's a little bit interesting. Could have easily gone the other way given how close it was with the 13-11.
Sure.
You know, listen, if a couple of those eco rounds didn't get won by Leviatan, we might have been seeing a very different scoreline, different result here with NRG leading. So a bit risky there, but the map pool just gets even weirder as we get deeper as well, because Lotus is being that next map.
Yeah,
and Lotus didn't look good for NRG
a lot at Finesse and the way that he can adapt against King, going back to
Sao Paulo, I would argue, right?
Because in this game, it was a good early idea, but I felt like they were very slow to adapt. We didn't see them like kind of having reflex against these post-plant setups. We didn't see them going for the faster flood retakes, even when they could get those punishes onto Taco. So I'm hoping going into Lotus, they can really step up in that adaptation, because this is a
I guess
map
it was a
where I don't think they
12-14,
really know
but
what to expect against this Leviatan squad.
Yeah, another little fascinating bit from that as well, and you know, we can always talk about, you know, some of these players on this team, like Crashies, for example. Even though
no Lotus for Leviatan yet.
The scoreboard, and you see Crashies, and you're like, okay, you know, maybe didn't have like the craziest game, but that honestly wasn't his job. His job was to really set up his team with his utility, like we saw, you know, in that round.
Wait, is Ethos jumping in for NRG?
It was like all these like little set things that they were doing here.
Imagine.
And Crashies, you know, he can get to the kills.
He's so consistent. I mean, you look at these numbers that he's putting up at every single major event as well. That's what we pulled this from. Copenhagen into Champs into Lock-in as well, the most recent 3.
Where is this being casted? It's in LA.
To me, the thing that draws me is the clutch percentage, because he's
for the Americas ones.
In that regard as well, most events. Very rare to find a player the caliber of Crash.
EMEA is Berlin, I think.
Right. He's in those high pressure scenarios, but the guy pulls it off almost every single time.
And we're seeing that consistency from him at Lock-in, despite the fact that he's kind of having to try some new things.
It's all in person for
the Killjoy for this team, like we saw back on Pearl, moving away from just kind of being the full-time Sova player and showing a lot more of his flexibility, which I think has been the direction of NRG, not just for this guy individually, but for the team as a whole.
Another fascinating aspect of that matchup, because Doug and Bala were mentioning it a few times, was
Berlin for the
and how NRG always gave themselves, Mimi, an opportunity to have guns going into the rounds, which I thought was quite fascinating.
I want to talk about that. I think in most maps, you should be buying half armor at this point. Fnatic was obviously the team who I think most people kind of resonated with when they were playing half armor at Lock-in. But it actually started way back at when, with an old version of NRG, was the first time I saw it, because it really does give you such strength.
And it's in Seoul for the Pacific League.
NRG was like, it was last year. NRG was never, or in this matchup, excuse me, Leviatan was never really being being reset on the economy, right? Because of that half armor, or brains backwards. It's NRG then, it's NRG now as well. They were the ones who were going into the half armor, but even though they were struggling on some of those gun rounds, they always had something to keep those rounds so close, which I think was a part of the reason why they were able to stay in that game. And I want to see more teams doing it because it's a sound strat.
Yeah, I wasn't really counting the amount of like buy rounds that they had in this map in particular, but I know statistically when Fnatic were trying
So
that,
more teams going to be going with the
extra gun rounds, I think.
25%, huh?
Very
Or 25 shields instead of 50.
Absolutely nothing at all in the grand scheme of things.
Doesn't surprise me.
It's quite big. It amounts to like an extra buy round in terms of a half, which can make all the difference on this kind of level when you have two evenly matched teams like that.
Also, at this level of play, it's unlikely that it's going to be super common that you're getting a difference between having that line armor or not. A lot of players are running the Vandal. Even players who are running the Phantom, a lot of your engagements will be at closer range where you're going to die to that anyway. So there is the trade-off where if there's chip damage going in or a headshot from a Phantom, you can die a little bit more easily. But I think the economic help that it gives you does justify teams running it.
Well, that puts to rest Pearl and what we saw there. But still, don't worry, folks. A lot more to come because we have
Let's go, Lotus,
baby.
baby.
13-11 score for Leviatan is going to put them 1-0 in the lead. But as Brent had mentioned before, we're going to Lotus. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little weird. It's going to be a little fun. I'm ready for it.
Interesting often feels like the word of the day when you're running like any sort of desk or casting or anything, because I feel like it's just used as our filler. But this actually is quite intriguing.
It is.
Because Lotus is a map. Yeah, new version of it. I pulled out the dictionary for it. But the NRG comp in the past, they had a certain look at it as well, which a lot of teams are opting into, which is kind of like the double controller with the Omen. That's what they ran against Giants, and they ended up losing that map against Giants when they played it at lock-in.
14-16.
What kind of adaptations they're going to make off of that? What are they going to be learning from that moment? Because one of the things that really ruined them were the fast executes from the faster comp that Giants ended up running. And so the question now lies into what is the comp that Leviatan are going to be playing? Are they going to play something slower in terms of the double controller, where it's a bit less bursty? Or are they going to be opting into those more burst-oriented compositions? And Artis is going to raise. Okay.
Yeah, that's already a change. It was a no duelist composition. I believe Artis was on the Killjoy last time they played this. They were rocking with the Sova as well. Was a fan of it, so glad to see a new idea. This doesn't really tell us much of what direction Leviatan is going to go. Killjoy, Omen, both mainstays on this map.
But I think Artis moving over to this race does say that they have recognized a bit of a weakness with their composition.
Yeah.
The no duelist, I think, was a little bit less, you had a less oomph when it comes to a lot of those.
Time to go to Lotus here. I'm expecting this one to be just as tight, just as close as the other one.
Give them a bit more power on the defense side when they're just trying to really play hard with like some early nade conditioning as well, especially off of FS.
But hard to say. I mean, I would imagine, right?
A lot of teams have actually strayed away from this breach thus far. I think generally going for either that kind of loud style double controller comp, or some teams who are more focused on taking that space, sometimes running maybe a double duelist. There's been a lot of different ideas, and teams are still figuring this out. But I would imagine Crashies will lock in a second initiator, and I wonder what that's going to be. I'd say Sky is good, but last time it was the Sova.
Was it Sova?
Yeah, it was a weird one. And okay, Taco goes into the Jet on this one, so this seems pretty comfortable for Leviatan. You get your double controller, you get Nazwar on his initiator role, as well as Taco on that Jet.
And only the one smokes as well being ran here for NRG, and it is going to be that second controller as well, or the second initiator. I think this is super important to have a Sky in this combo. Any sort of
again, another like
really clear space.
Basically, basically, right?
Sky being played.
Yeah, having both the Raze and this Omen and the Breach is going to be really nice for a lobby control. You have both Paranoia and Stun to take that space. You have a nade to push people off that line early. A very pivotal piece of the map that we're going to see these teams fighting for a lot, and I think NRG's well set up for it.
All right, folks. Well, let's go ahead and
look at how packed that is for like the middle of the day on a Monday, chat. That's crazy.
As we get ready for this one and send it over.
You think Riot helped pack the stadium? They had to, right? Like have a bunch of people there from work.
EGB, there's a lot to talk about here. Already on Lotus, as much as we nerd out about the little things, now we get to talk about the differences in compositions. You've got double initiator on one side, double controller on the other. Given the fact that Lotus is 3 maps and the meta's still developing, do you favor a specific approach?
Yeah, actually, I'm very surprised to see NRG drop the double controller entirely, because I felt like, especially with new maps, that was kind of the thing that they were pioneering. And picking up Harbor Viper, for example, on Pearl, I kind of expected them to go for like a similar loud comp on this map. So I maybe favor them because they have the Breach and the Raze. I really like that on this map. That is kind of what led to their demise against Giants at lock-in on their only played map of Lotus.
NRG on attack and an early fight for A main. Flash used, fault line as well.
Remember the difficulty that some of the teams we've seen on this map so far have had taking a main. It's NRG right there, taking full advantage immediately.
It is tough sledding to take that space, man. And as you have so much utility traded back and forth, there's so much space to deal with as well. But so far, they've been successful, or at least they've gotten halfway.
This is Smoke. Ooh. Trailblazer actually pushes artist forward, and he's in trouble.
What up, Warrior?
All of NRG might be in trouble here, as Taco gets 3. I mean, I just mentioned, like, they got most of the way there, but they hadn't really gotten past the
5 still standing.
Opening up that door,
Interesting.
Instantly smokes. Artist the only one who gets through with the dog from Crashes, and they're just swinging through a Viper wall there. Taco Leah still sticking on this
Big chillin', fam. How are you?
You can see the reason, and I think as well, NRG swinging through that wall kind of mistimed as well. You want multiple people going in at the same time. It's really difficult when that door is already open, though.
Yep.
Because you kind of want to swing to peek that door.
I am. What brings you in on your first day over on the YouTube platform here, American Warrior?
Early smoke. The panel was cleared right off the bat, too. Oh, so there's threat of a flank. And then there's also threat of Taco just spamming smokes and getting kills.
Scary sign here.
Turret providing some cover. Shy falls. The Taco's still close. The nade's not going to hit. And Xena great.
Oh, my goodness.
Just teeing off on NRG.
Wow.
That is not a good sign after what we just saw on Pearl. Taco Leah having a slightly rougher game. For him to start heating up immediately on both the pistol and the anti-eco. And remember, what we saw on Pearl was struggles on pistol from Leviatan, even though we know them as a good pistol round team. And there it is.
Yeah, I think they did that for us.
That's what's up. But I guess what I'm saying, though, what brings you over here on your first day creating a channel? On a first day creating a YouTube profile? You a big
3 rosters, too. I mean,
Valorant fan?
Joke, but the synergy that you have when you've played with someone that long, you think the way they think, you know what they're going to do without having to come. Yeah, that's invaluable.
T1, Optic, and now this one, NRG. Super cool.
Quick pace out from Leviatan towards C. Mound already controlled.
How is your
slightly different flavor than we've seen previously.
Safety check going?
You think about it, it was Taco who was fighting in towards A main, who was fighting for control on that area of the map. This time they've taken so much space with the Trailblazer, and yeah, the turret's going to spot him, but you feel some of that pressure already.
Oh, for sure. They're going to rotate out, though. So NRG has a timing right now where they can take the site, and the rotate's going to be really late, so that retake, if they can get it.
The thing is, they still have Victor's alarm bot there.
Oh, so I showed up in your algorithm? So do you watch like a lot of other Valorant
You should be watching it yourself.
streamers or
With that
gamers?
in mind, Taco's still close. Crash, he's trying to push his way through with the flash. His own, but then a paranoia in his face delays him for just a moment. Crash, he's getting a spike down. NRG finding some massive kills, but Nowzer's in a great spot. I thought he was going to be able to get another, but no. And now Taco, who we were talking about at the beginning.
Oh, I'm multi-streaming, American. That question was for you.
They know where he is. Sam is weak. Gun acquired. But he doesn't know where they are.
Good little micro play there from Finesse and Sam to take down the terror of Taco Leah.
Do you mostly play, or do you just like, are you like me and just mostly like to watch esports?
Even when NRG took a long time to actually hit that A side.
Yeah.
They still managed to do fine against, what was it, 3 players who ended up coming onto the site at the right time. Nowzer, though, going a little crazy. I think Mazzino really with the flash. His TP wanted to find a timing after that nade where they think that drop is clear. So they overcommitted to that. Now Taco has the op. Flash is exchanged at Mound. Taco through the broken door. You actually saw just a moment there, Shy breaking the door for him so he could get on the angle.
What's the game plan here? We've seen this out of teams.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way.
Farm all 3 orbs, right? They get the one mound, they can still fight for mid, and then still get the one A.
I can't get my brain and
so they're not going for that.
a mouse and keyboard to work to play this. You know what I mean?
10 Taco. Oh, they actually broke the.
No matter how hard I bust my butt doing it. Oh my
Even with the paranoia
goodness!
in his face. Wise to it. I thought maybe the Trailblazer hadn't spotted him, but they knew where he was.
I can't believe he found the space to escape.
King dropping a molly, trying to keep them back, and succeeds for now. The door opens and closes without any aggression. Hit a second time, and now they're able to push their way forward through the smoke. Fastidious in their clearing of every corner.
Four players.
30 seconds
fast
left.
Inside of tree. One flash. They're trying to get out, but two players still here for Leviatan.
Oh, he just got the collide. Oh, bruh.
And that's as free as it gets.
You cannot be giving him that.
Wow.
Talk about a momentum shift. Talk about mentality difference for Taco.
10 seconds left.
I think he's at like 10-1 or 11-1 at this point.
This is not looking good for NRG to start things off here, man.
It's a complete shift. This defensive side for Leviatan looking really strong. Again, I mentioned how they shifted already on pistols. But if they continue now the trend of gun round victories as well, which there were so many in that first game. What was the stat? 12?
That's just filthy.
To 4. What?
Is that Crashy's hand?
I've seen so many of those. Just like one little pixel.
All right, NRG.
Lined up with him.
There it is. There it is.
They're heading to, this is their map pick.
There it is.
When they lost at lock-in. I think one of the things is you expect Leviatan to not be as prepared. We did not see them play this map throughout what it was, 4 matches for Leviatan.
Like, why make me go through the whole rigmarole dance? You know what I mean? Like, I obviously knew who you were, bro. You know what I mean?
You, bro, I didn't remember I was going to agree with you no matter what.
Huh?
And now you're second guessing yourself.
Oh,
now I'm confused. Either way, the point is,
What did his last message say? On this rock, I bust my crotch for the his truck.
Okay,
that's supposed to mean.
We have an opportunity.
Like, that's the weird shit about his like troll. Is like it's not even funny or like cute.
While the offseason
It's just
before lock-in, after these rosters were assembled,
just weird.
As well, it's the same core, just Mazzino swapping in here as the smoker instead of Melzer from last year.
Like, it's just, it's not funny stuff. It's not creative.
7-map pool. I wouldn't be surprised if
and like,
7-map pool. If Don's at a 7-map pool.
Yeah, right? Like, let me just know for sure that I'm doing the right thing and banning you. Or just leave, you know? Like, imagine if they spent this much time doing something productive as they have following me through 3 separate platforms. It's crazy.
And it's quiet out from NRG again. This time investing a little bit of utility to clear out some
through 3 years. Man, some almost really want the dick. It's crazy.
End up being quiet just because it's either an explosion of utility,
sure,
or you're waiting for the other side to throw their own. Smoke on the cross. That's the Mazzino cue for him to throw his one-way on door. A lot of cheeky omen one-ways. Not only can you find value out of, I like this one specifically when the door opens. Oh, missed nade from Artis. He was trying to sneak that in on top of Mazzino.
It was blind. They did clear out the panel early on, but it seems like NRG are going to want to split and hit B off of this.
Yeah, nobody actually here to receive, just the mollies of Shy. He gets satcheled away from Artis, actually.
He's close, and King's close by as well. Finesse getting the plant down.
Spike planted.
Succeeding now, 5v5 as they both try to fight for B as they try to retake the site.
Mazzino no flash to clear this as well, so they have a lot of space. Waiting for Nowzer. He stares though. He's not actually.
I do at least like that on YouTube. I don't have to worry about them DMing people in chat.
Slight numbers advantage for Leviatan. The fault line, the swing, and another kill for Leviatan. But perhaps NRG can swing this back. They're down in numbers, but they're not out of the round yet. Victor on the spam. Taco's already got it to half. NRG
He thinks he's off it.
There's just not enough space.
Oh wow.
Both flanks dealt with so easily. Both aggression. It was Crashies there, who was still right here at Rubble, trying to flash the Viper Wall again, taking that decay from the Viper Wall. Leviatan on these hits, consistently not losing anybody, allows utility to be so good. And I have to give mad credit to Shy. He was
shut and lock the door.
So patient.
Yeah, he was.
And NRG was too. They waited for that fault line to try and challenge him. Here we go again. NRG's got a lot of ults this
Then
time.
you drop a
They've
titty in
brought
his
two
face.
stingers into this.
No. This is...
Given the stingers, given the vibe that they have, they're going to want to play through the chaos.
Oh, flash door. They have to actually fight in mound right now.
You should run.
This looks like it has the makings of another 5v5 further side. Both teams trying to maintain control, vying for the round. The Rolling Thunder now used.
5v5 retake?
Right there. Innocently dissipating. Once again, you called in the previous round how successful Leviatan were at controlling the flanks, like controlling the pressure. And Taco's on one man.
Oh.
Finesse flashed up. Rage
Oh, they know where two of them are. That's big.
Numbers fully in favor of Leviatan. And given the ults that they had, still not able to find any success.
Double shorty.
Oh, he got the defuse though.
Close.
Oh, imagine if he turned the corner and popped that head though. Bro, that would have been insane.
The classic, they were all so
Oh,
close.
dude.
Ridiculous. And now Leviathan is starting to really roll with this. You're not seeing the same staying power that we had from NRG in the last round because they were trading.
Now,
at
do
least
we still feel
at least
confident
one round.
calling this
Both times in this B hit in the last two rounds,
defensive
they've
side of
got
map?
the Same heaven push. And again, the patience from Leviathan is just too clean. It's rare that I see this core not have variations round to round, even slight. But there, I think they're trying to take advantage with the ults that they use, and they invested quite a lot.
Xeno sidestepping the fault line, able to still provide some fire. Crashy's taking damage there. The opening engagement, albeit slight, in favor of Leviathan.
Cover going out.
And note, you were just mentioning in the last round they had, what, 4 ults to work with? Just Psalms now. And Crashy's just getting his.
It's the first time they're poking the C site. Yes, they've taken this orb before. Yes, they've challenged Mound, but they've never gone in.
Yeah.
Great Trailblazer gonna spot maybe two hiding behind the mound. Here comes the execute. Artist can dive here.
You got Mazzino in a really good spot. The flash is turned. You see how good the nanoswarms are delaying the hit. Now they're starting to swing through again. Tit for tat. Both kills traded on either side. The flash up top as Nauser swings around. Another one dropped.
2v2.
As the pattern continues.
2v2, that alarm bot. Oh, I think it's down.
He slipped through. Where does he go? Mind games played. Taco.
Oh,
Victor
no.
landing the shot. King in this 1v2. Sam is weak.
All right, King.
And King is not.
What?
Epic moment, and that was almost it. But
That
Victor
first kill was kind of insane.
How did Sam turn into a turret? My man turned into a turret. That was crazy. That was such a good one, though, from Victor. Realizing the situation. Also, got to give credit to Sam, too. He was stuck after planning that spike. He was stuck in that corner. He ults off of it. And not only does that give so much misdirection, they have to be worried about the spawn flank. They have to be worried about him being behind you in mounds. He could have ulted in waterfall.
Right.
He could have canceled.
Yeah. They just
fake TP
pulled
across
up and
the
hit
side.
him. Got so lucky.
Normally NRG would be wanting to challenge this. But Leviathan recognizing they're not doing it every single round. And they immediately use that to their advantage. Full A control is huge.
It's really interesting here that NRG may be choosing to push back in. They want to go B again.
The great thing, though, that Sam did, he did get the information that they pushed up. So if they end up rotating back into him, they're not too worried. I think that's why Mazzino's fallen off. But look at the economy as well. I can't believe Leviathan is broken at this point. Especially considering we're watching NRG by every round almost.
Well, I think it's been those 2 insanely close rounds at the end, right? Like, where Leviathan have won the round, but it's been costly. Love good levitating lockdown. But they are going to get some space. Again, they have not found success on B. Yeah, they get the spike down, but they constantly lose the fight for the retake.
Ooh, right. Here we go.
Counter lockdown used this time. Taco feeling some pressure, and there's so much utility dumped in.
A lot of utility.
Lockdown cleared. The kills going back and forth again.
Remember, Taco updraft dashed in here to create some space this time. No, it's the right click.
Right click to get the kill.
Shorty close.
Oh, bruv. Oh, the shorty. Oh.
Waiting. Flash. Jump through. Oh, it hit him, but it wasn't enough.
Both happen.
Wow. That little updraft move keeps helping him. Like, huge. How do you win this, though?
We just mentioned how surprised we were that they were even reset economically in that situation. And this team is just so dangerous. That's now 2 NRG. We've seen them at points, at least this core, in their careers struggle with eco rounds, struggle against the pistols. And we're even in a meta too, where you've got the shorties combining as well. It's a dangerous recipe.
Let's go!
Timeout called.
NRG timeout. Good call,
With
timeout.
a series lead, with a map lead.
And at this point, the gun round lead is becoming.
They didn't call one earlier, right? This was their first timeout? Because they called a hella early timeout last map. But I don't think they did this game.
For NRG anytime soon.
Yeah, Chet definitely has to inject some life, some new ideas into Finesse for this map specifically. It's been a far cry from the amount of adapting that we saw on Pearl. But don't forget this, I mean, this could shift at any point.
I mean, it did last map, right?
Similar scoreline for NRG in the lead on Pearl.
Oh yeah.
Was it 5-1?
Like something's different.
5-3?
Feel way in control. Like it's not as scrappy. I mean, sure, the eco rounds can be scrappy, but they have such a good plan. Like every single decision they're making in terms of like how they want to approach the idea that NRG is throwing them at them in the round. Like whatever site they hit, they're okay. Let's retake.
Yo, what up, Arshim? How you doing, buddy?
And it also helps that Taco's 12-4, while you have 2 members on the side of NRG combining for a total of 0 kills.
Ooh, do we do watch parties for the first couple rounds of RLCS before I go out of town this week?
We'll take a look here in just a moment. Yeah, Artis is one of them. They just haven't found a ton of success. Meanwhile,
probably not,
Taco
but it could be fun.
Continues to feel it. Leviatan across the board, dismantling NRG.
Winter Major
Cool idea
this
at
weekend.
the timeout to try to go for a C.
Oh, no.
But it's all falling apart. And that is not the way you want to come out of that timeout. Not the way you want to come out with a gimmick idea. To win you around, you need a whole.
Archie, I actually looked up Critoxic. I don't remember what 2 songs I listened to, but it was last night on the way to bed. I have it saved on my Spotify to check out more, though. I was kind of feeling it.
For Leviatan. And you might even, yeah, they finally have bought down fully with this light armor. And you might have that discussion of, oh, is it worth it? Oh, is it hurting you? I think in this game specifically, when you look at just the stat, 12-4 on Pearl and gun round.
I'm good, man. We had a appointment for Little Man today.
Tell you enough.
Yeah.
And then we only got the one matchup here. I'm gonna try and figure out
Taco found success from that spot.
what I'm doing the rest of the evening. I might actually take the rest of the evening kind of chill, to be fair. Let's be honest, probably not, but I might.
Frags, to be honest.
Oh, this pit, we saw it yesterday.
He's going into but it doesn't land.
Oh, bro, that would have been so huge.
From bad to worse.
That would have actually been a huge
Rocket intended to counter the pit.
rock if that would have hit.
Pushes the pace.
Look at this, though. Victor, who is one of the players who's fragging right now, coming up with the flank. There's 3 players for him to find. And the pit's dropped. They dropped the pit.
1, 2, but he didn't expect the 3rd.
Why would you let the pit fall?
They've gotten into a 2v2. Sam gets 1 for 1 here. Finesse healthy.
King, watch your back.
Be enough. Can he outthink his way through this? Yes, he can.
Nice. Finesse. Well done.
And Rolling Thunder online.
That's huge.
Dude, given how this has gone, 7-5 for NRG. I mean, you take that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, if they can get this to 7-5, it'd be huge. That's still thinking a little far ahead, though. You know what I mean?
Because of how long Leviatan is taking to retake this, I'm surprised they dropped the pit, I have to say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if maybe they got forced out. There must have been something. And don't forget, King was the last alive, so it's not like he died or something. No. Breach hole, lockdown. Big swing ults.
They want to go fast.
Definitely really confused as what to make
Yeah, you're right. It was Crash. He's 0-9 for him. Artist 0-10 at this point.
That
too.
pit drop. I was really curious.
Still struggling to find any sort of traction, any sort of anything to turn it into action, to turn it into space. But they have some tools here. Again, they have the lockdown. They have Finesse's Rolling Thunder.
All right, so they're going to push them out. They should be able to push in for the site.
Surprising that they're not in until this chain goes
That
off.
feels like a really late entry here. I'm not going to lie, from NRG, right?
Remember last time he did this, it was all mind games. This time cleared the paranoia, the Rolling Thunder. Mazzino looking to apply pressure from the door, and Victor decapitates him. Seekers dropped, hunting out through the smoke to find any member of Leviatan that they can.
Som has a measure of safety there. Ooh.
Are they saving?
Yes.
They're saving.
They're saving 4 rifles.
1 kill is all it takes.
Honestly,
Lighting up. Happy to see them run and tuck tail. But you're right. Look at the money. The difference. I mean, in the economic strategy of both these teams in there hunting. Victor has been.
I wanted to make sure before I went and said harsh shit.
Such success with the lurks. He's been involved in the hits.
Because I would have felt bad saying that first, then you
That wall spammable.
corrected me the opposite way. You know what I mean?
Last round in the half.
I think Harshi makes it kind of sound sophisticated, no?
Reason to chant.
A little hope. Leviatan playing so well still, though. And you have to, I mean, that one finally, maybe. Some struggles to come up with the idea and solutions to the amount of ults that NRG had, but they just used a lockdown, they just used a killjoy ult, they just used the Seekers too. It's all gone for this final round.
Again, aggression. Oh, but Crash, he's there! Gets one. Taco on the trade. The final boss down.
Okay, 3v3.
And the 2 players needed to come alive. Finally get a kill tallied.
All right, NZR, is he going to be able to hold him off here?
Now's with a really nice flash. But the
Good paranoia.
arguably better.
Really good paranoia.
Now Fernez from up top, Leviatan understanding where the pressure is. Clean shot out from Nowser, man.
That's ridiculous. That's through the wall.
Krishna?
And
I will try and remember that.
They're back on the ramp too, so
It might take me a little while,
of the essence.
admittedly. So I usually go off of what I see when I read.
Some tries to go aggressive. Artist was able to take one down, but Nowser with 3. Nowser with the defuse, and Leviatan with 8.
And it
But I
has
got
silenced
you.
The audience here. For the first time, it's not NRG trying to silence the audience.
Switching sides.
All right, so
It's the
8-4
opposite
at half.
And okay, he was visible.
Just a pixel, though. I mean, a ponytail betraying him.
Great round from Nowser.
This is the only weird thing is usually we figured this was an attacker-sided map, right?
And remember here, it was the strength that we saw.
That fucking wall shot was clean, it really was.
Pearl, but man, they've roared their way back into this thing. An 8-4 half for Leviatan. We're going to throw it down to the desk for Golden Boy to break it down.
I don't think it's probably not fair to still call this an attacker-sided map as teams are starting to figure it out more, right?
Lotus, we were wondering what they were cooking. Well, so far,
So I feel like we're starting to see more back and forth. Sometimes some teams being more defensive on it.
I think on the other side,
But 8-4 is tough, man.
Dude, they are popping off right now, and it comes down to as well individuals. Of course, I mean we have to highlight Takalia. This guy has just been amazing.
Yo, Tago's
but it's partly
chilling tonight, just absolutely slaying.
Like, okay, he's a great player. That's like very surface level.
good.
But his operating has actually been helping this team out tremendously. He's been controlling a lot of these extremities early on in the half, actually, and giving a ton of that mid-round information for King as the IGL to work off. And they had clear indicators of where NRG were landing with a lot of their hits, whether it was B or A, and you could tell how comfortable they were with those retakes.
Yeah, and that played to the game plan of Leviatan, which was those retakes. In particular, NRG initially was going for kind of these ideas towards A, trying to take that space, but that was getting shut down. So their next idea was B, and they were able to consistently get that site for free. But Leviatan was always getting
Very
that
little
space and so
Krishna.
incredibly clean on these retakes. And it wasn't like they had a crazy preset plan.
Bro, I really thought Victor was going to turn and get the third there. That would have been so insane.
The awareness in this round from Mazzino to stick around and kill the reflanker and to find a triple swing back into the site.
Yeah.
It's just the fundamentals that make this Leviatan squad so incredibly good.
It's the sequel of last map, if you will.
Yeah, I just love how sacrificial as well Taco is, though, as a player, because the guy is a star player, yet he's perfectly happy to just do the percentage play. He'll just updraft dash through for these retakes, and he will, you know, not get that much value, but he cuts up the crosshair placement.
So it's first to 13. It's best of 25 essentially. 25 rounds. So it's the first to 13, but you have to win by 2.
But he has that consistency across the board. NRG though,
And if you have a bet on NRG, it's not looking good right now. Leviatan looks really good today. Hopefully for your bet, NRG can turn things around here for you.
Leviatan in full control, not just.
But yeah, Krishna, I don't watch too much football.
There's been plenty to talk about for the Latin American side.
I'm like your typical American. Like I'll watch quite a bit when World Cup comes around, but I don't typically watch it much like day to day. Also, to be fair, I used to be a huge basketball fan, and I don't really watch basketball anymore. So
that show, they should be in charge here. We do have 3 ghosts for them. It's 3 light armors here. They're gonna go for a trap play.
Oh,
very well familiar with this type of idea. We saw them in the late portions of that first half do exactly that, and it's just too easy for them. And there's no ideas anymore. Crash is gonna try to run in, but
bro, if Leviatan takes this pistol round, I don't want to say it's over, but it's just about over. Because Leviatan's been killing him on the rifle rounds. NRG kind of needed that to bring things back. Have I thought about visiting India? I would really like to visit a lot of Southeast Asia, honestly. Would love to be able to get to the point where that's possible.
The setup was there for NRG. It looked good on paper. The execution just wasn't there.
Leviatan also has just this ability right now to get the rounds that matter so much. And to cancel the ones that matter for NRG too.
Yeah.
I remember the Thrifty on Pearl that shifted the game, where we said, okay, they might need this to win, and they just get it. Whereas NRG, when you see them try to go for those out of timeouts, for example, when it's on demand,
yeah, no problem, Eddie.
The idea is just break apart.
Yeah, it is not looking good, fam. I would love to be able to give you better news, but it doesn't look good. And honestly, I don't blame you for putting a bet on NRG. If I was a betting man, I probably would have bet NRG in this game too.
And it seems like NRG have been cleared off the side as well. They're gonna rotate out.
I would have bet at least a 3rd map though, for sure. It's kind of surprising to see Leviatan coming out this impressive.
Clear here from NRG. They're still holding. I like this.
They may have overcooked this one.
Take the duel. Oh!
They may have overcooked this one. Unreal.
Wow.
For the gun difference to be what equalizes that.
Jeez, Luis.
We got this.
That was close. But we've seen bonus rounds get canceled in this very series. That was a good attempt from NRG. I honestly like that approach, Doug. To fall back, look like you're about to pivot, and then take this fight. You have the gun advantage.
You'd rather that over just funneling in through panel and get the spike down.
You can go get the spike down or whatever, but you're giving up guns. But like, I just prefer.
Oh, actually, I'm thinking. Now I think about it, I need to do
sometimes it doesn't work.
a video for the luminosity thing tonight, or write it out and do it tomorrow.
Guns here for NRG. Well, 2 pistols for Leviatan and 2 kills for Leviatan.
No, the plot is starting to be missed here from NRG, losing first kills, which last time they actually had advantage on Pro. It's 13-11 for them for the first duels. This time losing 2, and Som got stunned by his own teammate there, by the way. Let's be clear about that. That was Finesse's fault line. And there's just a
That's tough, Eddie.
On this team right now that are just not hitting as hard as you want them.
Still never know, man. It's a momentum game. Things can turn around quick.
We talked about that in the first half. Finesse, sure, he's 4-11. But yeah, Artis, this is his first.
I mean, at least maybe the positive for you looking at it right now is if they were to complete the comeback, they would have momentum really on their side going into split.
Only imported player from any other region. And it cannot feel good to do this on stage.
No, and to go back to the composition conversations we were having previously, this used to be a no duelist comp. for NRG. They switch over to give a little more pop into it, perhaps understanding that that's their strength, or perhaps trying to shore up a weakness. Either way, it hasn't really made much of a difference.
Careful here.
They're staying put here, Doug. I mean, while the first map might have given us a little bit of energy on this Monday morning,
This second map's kind of been flat-footed, man.
Here is draining it.
I am glad there's only one game or one matchup today, chat. This would be one of those days where they'd try and drag it out to try and make it 2-6 for the start of the next game, and it'd feel like such a drain of energy. I'm glad there's only one game today. Not gonna lie. Or one matchup.
NRG, trying to get any guns out of their hands that they can.
Ooh, Finesse is gonna get a free kill here. That's nice. Notice Nowser's the one who's pushing first with just the frenzy.
My Instagram's the same as my Twitter my handle here at YoBoyCue. I'll be honest, I'm not that busy on Instagram. I need to really step up my Instagram presence. I'm mostly active on YouTube and Twitter.
But ultimately the round for Leviatan, because of these first 2 kills. I love that this was like, feels like 2 minutes ago at this point. But that
Best place to kind of keep up with
this situation unfolds the way it does.
when we drop videos, where we're casting at. Actually, honestly, probably the best place to keep track of where we're casting at, since we cast a couple of games between Apex, Rocket League. We do some tactical shooters as well. The Discord is probably the best place to keep up with that.
Psalm with no armor. A Bulldog for Victor, who I believe is still top fragging.
The adjustment there from Psalm 2, TPing on the left, not even TPing up, because he didn't want to get stunned again.
Bot coming back. Alarm bot.
Alarm about to cover the flank, but the problem is they're going to be
We got some CSGO the next couple days.
That hasn't really been problematic at all. Again, another alarm bot, or another nano, excuse me, expecting and predicting where Taco's going to go.
Yeah, probably the best place to, honestly.
Also go in that position, but this ult into the broken door, it might not have been broken.
Cover going out.
Leviatan have gotten onto B. NRG with no ults. Crashy's close by, sure, but now it's 2 flashes.
Spike planted.
Oh, it's going to be messy. It's going to be bloody yet again. A 5v5 for the site. The spam through the smoke. Taco takes a considerable amount of damage. Healed up, topped off. And where do they go from here? Are they going to try to flank him through panel? Time is of the essence here. NRG are going to have to pull the trigger very soon. You remember you mentioned this was an on-demand round. They have to convert here, and they're down. But can they snatch it back, or can King keep them down? He can. Leviatan at 12.
It's about to be over, champ. Oh, all my my stuff's pretty easy.
They're desperate.
The 2 absolute stars on this team.
Pretty much at YoBoyCue everywhere you can think of.
And around that again, NRG must have gotten, if they wanted a chance in this, if they wanted a chance to come back.
But yeah, it's the Twitter there.
It's reaching 8 rounds.
Yo, I appreciate you, Eddie.
Those aren't the 2 players.
We do a lot of different watch parties between VCT and ALGS, so definitely look forward to seeing you back here.
Leviatan. Series point, Leviatan.
I would probably say normally Instagram. Oh, that actually didn't put my
Seekers use NRG wanting to push the pace for
website.
Do they handle it? Yes, they do. No way, bro.
And the showstopper doesn't
But
even
for like gaming space, it's more Twitter.
That's not a perfect summary of how the map has gone. I don't really know.
Oh, it's about to be over, chat.
Leviatan marching towards their moment right now. Mazzino with a shorty. Sam with no chances here. His teammate is so far away. This is it.
Yeah,
this is how it ends, chat. Not with a bang.
And really, any win is a big one at this point. Sam gets another. Can you do this?
No, there's no way.
I don't think he can. Through the nanos, through the spam.
GG's, man.
Once again, a statement out from Leviatan. They don't just.
Leviatan looked really good, man.
13-4 to close out.
Like really good today.
Not even a
man.
Cope there as well. NRG destroyed.
NRG looks deflated, man. I mean, understandable they lost, but
might normally be able to say
sheesh.
But it was close. Not here.
No.
Not here.
That's rough, bruv.
And I will say, Leviatan, so strong. But this approach on Lotus, there was no answers. There was no answers at all on that defensive side for them. They were just so well prepared. And their protocols were clinical.
So that means, chat, we've got...
Shy specifically as an individual.
I don't know if we'll be live much more this week. I'm trying to think about what else we could potentially be doing watch parties for over here. So ALGS is on break. VCT is going to now be on break until the weekend.
On the other side of the defeat, and I mentioned it earlier, but come into this against crowd favorites, against NRG, right? Like all of the history in this squad, the core that they've kept together, the imports that they've brought in, and it looks so good. And for them to,
we'll be dropping some videos for sure. So if you guys have been enjoying the vibes and y'all want to make sure y'all check out the videos, man, definitely make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. We'll also be back next week with more watch parties. Maybe Sunday, but none Friday or Saturday because I'm going to be out of town. We're going to be at the beach.
Playoff-bound teams, I think that's still...
Because once I get back, we're full grinding for a couple months.
They had against each other so far in this split.
So, with the rest of VCT reactions videos, I've thought about doing some. I'm not sure what kind of content I'd want to react to because I kind of want to keep my content like revolved around like esports and stuff, because I'm trying to kind of build my brand to try and get more like casting opportunities and stuff like that.
It was close on Pearl, and then quite frankly, it just was not.
But I've seen some videos popping up recently. I've thought about doing some reactions to.
You took a break after Pearl, you might have come back and be like, wait, what just happened?
But what I've really been enjoying doing is enjoying doing the interviews that we've been doing. Sit down and chatting with players, coaches,
Shy as well, and talk about the difference in performance of Taco too.
Like
that guy stepped up.
Org execs and stuff.
10 kills in this map. He only had 9
We've gotten to have a couple of good chats here recently with some folks. I really need to kind of start digging into that more on the Valorant side, since we've been doing more on the Apex side. Obviously with VCT just starting it, but
you're hitting shots through the smoke, and you go, yeah. I mean, this is rad.
Match MVP on your screen. Takalia, King, Mazzino. Argument to be made for most of them. I go for King personally. Mazzino had definitely, I mean, he was very well on that first map, and I think that's where you look for.
All right, Chad. Normally we kind of wrap things up at the end. I'm going to go ahead and do that here too. There's only one matchup today. There's no second matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and get up on out of here. That actually allows me to try and see if maybe I can get a video done. No, I'm not going to do a video tonight. I said I'm going to relax. No, I didn't. I said I got to do that 60-second thing for Luminosity. Shit. I'm going to do that and then relax. Or relax, then do that, and then do that in the morning. I don't know. But I really appreciate everyone coming in, kicking with your boy, man. It really means a lot. Y'all can be watching VCT anywhere. I appreciate y'all coming in, vibing with your boy. If y'all haven't already done so, if y'all can hit that like button before we get up on out of here, that does seem to help with the algorithm. People find it not only during the portion while we're live, but the thing that makes YouTube so great is people do tune in even after the fact and try and catch things back on the run back, as we've been noticing on our VODs here recently. So make sure y'all hit that like button. If y'all look down below and the subscribe button hasn't been tapped, we are trying to chase down that first 200 subscribers. We're only 15 away. Y'all have been crushing it lately, so I appreciate y'all for that. Like I said, we more than likely are just going to be having a couple of videos over here the next couple of days. I don't think we'll be live, although you never know. If you're looking for a best place to keep up with your boy outside of stream, Discord's going to be the best place to do that. Follow that link right there. Come and say what's up if y'all want to, all right? Again, appreciate y'all, and so we catch y'all back over here for the next one, man. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard, all right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.